They say the eyes are the windows to the soul, so I would be a fool to leave my eyes exposed. In the dark I glow, I got neo soul, so with my eyes closed I can see a lot when it's told. I've been exposed, the stories arose made with pure gold, pearly white gates with the diamond handles. Trying to hustle hard so my family can go down Wall Street without them folks calling us broke. I've been rich before, bro, but not in this lifetime. These kids got swag, but it's not quite like mine. Walked in the crib, my girl watching that Lifetime. She hit me with a question, now I'm down in my lifeline. My life is like a show that hasn't made it to prime time. I'ma skip that prime time and chill in the limelight. A 9mm don't shoot like a 4.5. Mathematic flow, boy, I'm spitting that Einstein. Dog, I swear I must have killed that pussy like 9 times. Now she spoiled and she wanna dine to fine wine. We jewelry shopping, but you just picked a fine time. Peace, I gotta go, I drop you off at the bus line. I used to kick dirt, now when I travel I touchdown. Who's gonna make you eat dirt for talking about us? Nah, used to be a boy, I'm on my grown man-ish. And if your life sucks, I'm trying to get to know that bitch. If he's cool, then baby, I'm cold as shit. Matter of fact, I don't know nobody cold as this. I'm built for this itch, they trying to study my blueprints. I'm so Swayze, like I studied the blueprint.
Money coming in, so we up now. When I was broke, they wouldn't touch down. Started from the bottom of the bed, man. Had to get it fast, with no vision.
We was lights out, trying to find a way out. Damn, look where I'm at now. I used to be on rocky grounds, but it's solid now. Homies I used to call friends, they ain't solid now. Situations change, I got problems now. Never worry about the haters, focus on the win. When I was down and out, they weren't focused in. Get a little bread, they all focused in. I chose to look at life through a different lens. And my lady stayed down for it all. Take flight, touchdown, we don't round trip at all. We stay, fuck up the towns and the mall. It's her day for being down.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, thank y'all for tuning in for another show of State of Gaming. Make sure I got to put that in the title when I edit the title. Once again, we want to thank y'all for showing up and showing out and supporting the platform. And we back with another show. And today we got the whole squad with us. You feel me? We got the whole squad with us. So it should be a dope show. It's a lot of stuff going on this week. The stuff you still got people, still information is leaking about the inner workings of 343 and how Bonnie Ross and Frank O'Connor and Kiki kind of mismanaged everything and didn't have a comfortable culture. They had a toxic culture there. They also talked about how toxic Frank O'Connor is, how racist he is and stuff like that. So we might get into that if we get time. I might read through some of the thread because it's a long thread and they break it down. So we'll see. But we also want to talk about Gear 6 Coalition canceling 2 games that they was working on that had nothing to do with the Gears universe.
Say it ain't so, man. Say it ain't so.
We'll get our perspective on that. Wolverine, targeting next year, 2024, fall of 2024, or sometime in 2025, getting a mature rating. Let's see, will y'all get that? PlayStation just announced some incredible numbers. We'll go over that. Tomb Raiders, Amazon buying Tomb Raiders. Y'all get our outlook on that and see where we believe the franchise could be headed with them at the helm. Star Wars, you're gonna get always gonna get a Microsoft acquisition update, and then whatever we can fit in between, we'll go from there. Okay. So thank y'all for showing up, and then we're just gonna do our due diligence. We're gonna shout y'all out in the chat, and then we're gonna get this show started. This is a back-to-back week for us. We're showing y'all we're trying to be consistent and bring y'all the content that y'all want. All right. So before we do get that started, we got Halter Top Noah. You know what I'm saying, down there.
What's up, bro? What's up?
Show all the muscles, you feel me? Bench press. He been there bench press, you feel me? You know what I'm saying? What y'all been up to and what y'all playing, man?
You want to go first, Mello?
Yeah, I'm going to get out the way. I haven't been playing nothing. I am achieving Warren. Pause at the time at this current station. I'm playing. What is this? Unravel 2. That's the one right now. Yeah.
From EA
for achievements. Yeah, and I'll actually Deathloop is actually a great game. I checked out a little bit of it. I'm kind of confused with the story, but I'm rocking with it as of right now. So yeah, that's what I'm playing. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Off the door.
706. What's in the mix, brother?
What's up, bro? I'm playing that Hi-Fi Rush, man. Like it's been a busy week for me, man. A lot of things changing at work. So
okay.
Been on this Hi-Fi Rush, but just sit back and reflect, bro. Like if your backlog crazy now, it's gonna be a hell of a year, bro.
Man,
we got a lot of games coming out. Like
we might need to touch on this crazy. The next couple of months we have in Game Pass, it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, Tony Hawk, Harry Potter, Resident Evil 4, Dead Space just came out. Like, man.
Shout out to man, this is a pleasure. This is an honor. Shout out to Destin in the chat. You know what I'm saying? This is my acquisition brother in arms. You know, we keeping everybody in tune. We keeping everybody in tune. Appreciate you for showing up and supporting the channel, man. Thanks for dropping in. He said just wanted to drop in to thank Poster for keeping track of Xbox news. We want to thank you for everything you do, man. The channel is growing at an incredible rate. Keep up the great work. Keep up the great news. You're reporting. I watch all your videos, especially the stuff that you've been doing on the acquisition along with myself. So yeah, man, thank you. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. So continue. 706. My bad.
Oh yeah, I'm just saying, man. It's gonna be a big year for gaming, man. That's both Xbox and PlayStation.
I think it's gonna be a big year for Xbox. Period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a big year for Xbox. Period. They started before we get started. Let's shout out everybody. But you've been playing Hi-Fi Rush, right? Because I know prior to us coming on the stream, you was playing Hi-Fi Rush, correct?
Yeah. I'm on like track 5 right now.
Track 5.
Bro, this parry system in this game is crazy, bro.
It's tough, isn't it?
You miss a parry, bro. You got to start all the way over. It pisses you off. It's like Elden Ring. You get pissed off, but as soon as you beat a boss, you want to go celebrate. Yeah, look at that. Somebody, I gotta clip this. Somebody gotta see this.
That's why I stopped that. When the game was introducing me to how to parry. I kept getting perfects, but I kept getting hit. So every time I get a perfect and get hit, it'll keep doing it until I die. I died like 3 times trying to do the same thing, and I got frustrated and cut the game off.
Pay attention to it's a tune. So like before certain enemies, right? Watch the lightning bolts. It hits in the tune. They'll be like doom, 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 doom. Like the tune always changes. But that's the same way you have to hit the buttons when the enemy attacks.
Okay.
That's how you time it. And then if you hit it ain't select anymore, but I still call it the select button. You can see where the game is always on beat.
Yeah.
So that'll help you with some of your attacks and your parries always be on time.
Oh yeah, because it's in 4/4 time. No, it's in 4/4 time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's always a steady tempo. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're in the middle of a fight and you got like 10 things going on, bro. Like,
yeah, you kind of lose track and you'll break away from the tune and the tempo. But that's why how they made the world in terms of the world moving to the tempo as well. It can kind of bring you back in because you look at things moving and stuff on the wall. It can kind of bring you back, lock you back in. All right. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna shout out everybody in the chat, give y'all respect for supporting the platform. Then we're gonna get this show started. All right. Shout out to let's see here. We're gonna scroll up. Shout out to my brother 6200 Block. What's good, brother? Well, we have the Dart Kermit. Bria, what's up? The Dart Kermit. You feel me? Dart Kermit. Bria, what's up? Always showing up and supporting. Thank you so much. Chicken Eye 210. That's somebody new in the chat. That shows we're growing and getting new members. New
Who's
people showing up to the show, which is
Like,
always a good thing.
shout out to you, Chicken
Alakazam,
Eye.
Alakazam was good. What's going on? And then who we got here? We got Swordfish. Swordfish was good. Remind me of the movie Swordfish. Mozam Smeek, if I'm pronouncing that right. What's good? What up, man?
Hey,
Balling harder. The content been fruitful, lady. Post appreciate. Definitely, y'all asked for it. Y'all held me accountable. Yeah, last year due to the inconsistency. My brothers held me accountable to it as well. So I'm gonna try to be a lot more consistent this year and deliver. Shout out to other Zinc. What's good? Now, this is like I will tell y'all this every show.
Zinc.
This is one of the baddest bots in the land. You can't tell him nothing about Xbox. You feel me? He rebuked all negative energy. He rebuked it. The Ruham, what's good, brother? Glad to see you showed up. Who else? But who else? Me and who else didn't clash heads in terms of our opinion on Xbox, but always a good, cool dude, brother. Deuces X was good. You know what I'm saying? And then see, he going already. No, the coalition didn't cancel anything.
Hey, I'm with him on that. I'm with him on that.
Hey,
I'm with you, Zink. They ain't counsel nothing. Jeff
Harry.
Grohl been wrong. He been wrong before. They ain't counsel nothing.
Okay, Harry. You know I call you H. We're gonna call you H. I'm not putting that out there. I don't like Lord Maxie. What's good? What's good? Anthony Chipmunk was good. As always, we got Destin in the chat. That is an honor. South Star was good. Who is a true pony? He is a true pony, South Star. He's coming to disrupt. He or her is coming to disrupt the chat with ponyism. So all the bots in the chat, just be ready. Just be ready. Brooklyn 2700 was good. Thriller Ali, always consistent. Was good, my brother. And then we got here David VGS was good, brother. Consistent too. Double nickel. Kugatsu. That sound like a ramen noodle. I ain't gonna even lie. That sound like a Japanese ramen noodle. That's fire. I love some ramen noodles. Kugatsu. It just sounds like a type of a ramen. You know, you got different ramen bowls. But let me get off there. I always get to talking about food every show. Last show it was the oxtails. Sergi 24 was good. Black Lighting 100. What up? Iron Mike. What up? Let me see here. Man, we got Witness the Truth was good. And Viking PS5, what up? So once again, we want to thank everybody for showing up, showing out, tuning into the show. We really appreciate it. As we say every show, we're just trying to grow the platform. So please make sure y'all hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed to the show, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can be notified every time we go live as we continue to try to grow this platform. So it's a lot of news that's going on throughout the week. Like I said, with the coalition, we got information on Wolverine this today. PlayStation just released some incredible numbers. TombRaiders, what's going on with that now that Amazon owns that? Star Wars, y'all gonna get our perspective on that, and then as well we're gonna talk about the latest updates in the Microsoft Activision, and then whatever else we can fit in between there. Okay. Xavier Bay with the $2. What up, Post Mello and Noah? Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna start off. Like with Gear 6, right? I think Jeff Grubb recently did a show today, and he came out stating that the coalition. Now we knew the coalition was working on a title outside of Gears, and I for one welcomed that because when prior to them becoming the coalition studio, when they was Black Tusk Studio, they was working on their own IP. They was working on their own IP, and they was 2 years in on that IP, and then Microsoft goes and gets the IP, the Gears IP from Epic, and then it tasked them with the studio to carry on that IP. They had to stop what they was doing with that IP and then put all their energy in Gears. But they did state they was some people in the studio, some developers in the studio was not happy about that. They wanted to create their own IP to prove themselves. Like this is we just got a new studio, we got a new IP. We want to prove ourselves. We want to prove the abilities and things we have as a developer and put out something fresh and new. They didn't get a chance to do that. They had to move on to Gears. Now they got an opportunity now, and supposedly they're working on two titles. I thought it was just one, but they was working on two titles outside of the Gears universe. And now from Jeff Grubb, he's saying they're canceled and they're fully focused on Gear 6. And so what I want to ask both of you two is, how do you all feel about that? And do you all think the recent impact of the studio layoffs, what's going on with Halo, the fact that Microsoft just released some not so good numbers in terms of software and services and content and hardware, did they have an impact on them saying, look, drop those two titles and let's go for what we know? Either one of y'all can go first.
Want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first. I went first. Yeah, you
I
go.
think it's all lies.
It's all that.
Lies, baby, it's all lies.
So you with the other zinc. You with the other zinc on this one.
I think
One
it's
thing I mean, I know Jason Schreier been coming out with a lot of reports, and normally, Jason Schreier inside.
Well, he always come out with bad Xbox news. He don't rarely report. But that's neither here.
He come out with bad news for everybody though. Jason Schreier be looking for blood when he
all I know, he do his due diligence before he release anything.
Yeah,
he makes sure.
I'll say that, but lately there's been some conflict. Like even the VR. I know there was a Bloomberg report about the PSVR 2 cutting production that Sony came out and denied that. Mm-hmm. We got the report with Halo. Even with Halo, they said they're working on but they're working on DLC for the story. Then we got reports coming out, that's been canned. There's been a lot of contradicting report. Do we believe the journalists or do we believe the company? Like, there's been a lot of conflict lately. Even with, Jeff Grubb's been wrong before,
Okay.
But normally he's reliable, but he's been wrong before, So hopefully he's wrong this time. I would love to see another IP from Gears. This is what we look forward to from Game Pass. That's why we subscribe, because they're supposed to be able to eat the cost of development and getting us new games they normally wouldn't be able to put out there because of the risk of losing money. So it wouldn't make sense to be trashing and cutting all these projects when you got Game Pass. It's just my thoughts.
I'm about to second that notion with no. I'm about to roll. I wanted to play devil's advocate, but he made a strong argument there. With Game Pass and it also being an internal developing team, it goes without saying that you can be able to drop a passion project or an idea, new IP, and still be able to give us Gears at this point. I think the story right now is kind of in limbo. I don't know what direction they're probably going to go with it, because it was kind of a cliffhanger on the ending on the last one. So I'm kind of concerned on that, because a lot of people was worried about the characters, you know what I'm saying, and the new arrival of the new guys. So I don't know about that. Multiplayer is multiplayer. That's going to be there. That's their staple. But I would love to see Coalition do something new at this point, because we are at Gears 6. They talk about doing a book. We had Gears Tactics, and let's get a new IP at this point.
Yeah, I mean that doesn't mean cancel Gear 6. I mean just
never.
I want to see what they can do outside of Gears.
Yeah. Same there. I second that.
Okay, all right. So new rumors suggest that Gear 6 is already underway. A developer, the Coalition, and that Wolverine could be out in 2024. There's been a lot of talk about it, about Halo in the last few weeks. There's hardly been a word spoken about Gears of War since the release of Gears 5 in 2019 and strategy spin-off Gears Tactics in 2020. Although they also helped out with the Matrix Awakening tech demo and Halo Infinite, Gears Tactics was the last full game by Canadian developer The Coalition. And while it's been natural to assume they also be working on Gears 6, there's never been any confirmation. There still isn't, but insider Jeff Grubb claims that is now their next game, but only because two other projects that we're working on got canceled. It's not clear what these other projects were, but back in 2021, one of the studio's lead designers said they were working on a new IP. There's also been long-standing rumors of Gears of War Remaster Collection, which matches with the idea that Coalition and other games was a smaller project. My perspective on this is I don't know. Like Noah said, Jeff Grubb has been correct on a lot of things in the past, and he's also got some things wrong. But I can't see this happening given the success that Bethesda and Tango Games work just had with Hi-Fi Rush and Shadow dropping that. You know,
Yeah.
and in terms of what Game Pass is for, you know, it allows developers to take risk, right? I remember one of the Sony execs said they used to, create a whole lot of titles and, kind of throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks. You know what I'm saying? Now in this day and age, giving the massive amount that it takes to develop AAA games, right? You could no longer do that. You really got to be strategic about what where you're investing your financing, and that's one of the reasons why I think Stadia, Google ended Stadia, because given where we're at in terms of the landscape of the industry, and things are moving so fast right now, the industry is growing so fast. You look at Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony, they already got world-renowned IP, right? In terms of first-party studios, they're already solidified in the area pretty much. If I'm Google and I'm looking at Stadia, right? Do I invest, right? Do I invest in the first-party studio? Do I start building these studios up from the ground up? Which I'm gambling at that point, because there's no guarantee that whatever these studios make is going to hit like some of the IP that Sony, Nintendo, and Microsoft has.
Right.
Right. So you're kind of gambling, and are you really to gamble in millions and millions of dollars to try to keep of playing catch up, which you probably never play catch up. But what Microsoft has done with Game Pass, being that it's a service that allows for residual income, it allowed developers to do those passion projects or those small projects that you're unsure about, that you can just drop in Game Pass and see what it do, because you got millions of gamers in this that service to kind of gauge, to give you great feedback on the title, whatever title that you drop. So in terms of the Coalition, I would say
it's the mixtape era right now.
Yeah, and I would say, stick to those two titles. Stick to those two titles
right now.
Big or small, it don't matter how small the title is. I mean, look at Hi-Fi Rush.
Game Pass affords you that ability, to drop it. Now, I'm not saying everything is going to be a Hi-Fi Rush, and I'm not saying everything needs to be dropped like Hi-Fi Rush. I would say this: the Xbox community has always been itching to see what these developers can do outside of the normal IP that we get from, like a Gears, like a Halo. You feel me? So we'll see. I think what they did with the Matrix demo, the Awakening in Unreal Engine 5. I think they take what they learned there. I think they take all that technology and I think they apply it to Gear 6. I think on the Series X, I think Gears, I'm hoping. I think Gears gonna look incredible. I think it's going. I wish
Yeah.
I wanted to hit like Gears 1 did on 360. We ain't had one of those in a while. I wanted to hit like Gears 1 did on the 360.
But what is it missing at this point? That's my one thing I want to say. What is it missing that's not hitting like Gears 1? And sidebar, who else? Hey, brother, that is not me playing the game. My fingers is off the control.
That's no impression of blood. You see, that's no impression.
No. You looking at he's talking about that video clip.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah.
I watch the YouTube videos.
Shout out to Double Nickel with the $20. Keep up the good work. Just showing my support. Thank you so much, brother. Every little bit helps. It only takes a little to gain a lot. No, I'm not saying they're missing anything. Okay. I'm just saying, given what they did with the Matrix demo, my expectations on how the game look is I'm expecting it to look incredible. I'm trying to set a new bar. Set a new bar for the generation. Because that's exactly what Gears 1 did. I remember when they first showed Gears 1 at E3, right? They showed it as a demo, right?
Okay.
And when people initially saw it, that's gonna be on PC. Ain't no console running that, especially the PlayStation 3 and the 360. They can't run that. That is a PC game, right? They didn't even say nothing. Epic just showed it as a demo. Then they come to find out that it was a 360 exclusive. And Lord have mercy, when the first time you see that thing on the 360. Man. So that's and looking at what Unreal Engine 5 is capable of. You know what I'm saying?
It ain't gonna miss. It ain't gonna.
Yeah. I think they have the ability to set the bar.
That's what I'm in a sense. I'm not worried about, especially with multiplayer. I'm not worried about Gear 6 with the multiplayer.
Yeah,
story is my most concern because
they kind of dropped the ball. Well, I haven't finished 5 before. I was kind of disappointed in 4.
Okay, well, yeah.
The story was good up until I'm tired of the cliffhangers.
Safe. Did it feel like they played it safe to you in this thing?
Yeah, it was short too. It was short. It was too short for my liking.
I'm noticing the trend in Xbox story games is they always end on a cliffhanger. Like it was unfinished. Like there's no conclusion.
Now, let me ask you this: Would you? Well, I'm pretty sure they won't go this way because of the cliffhanger. Would you like to go through a prequel standpoint with Gear 6? In the sense they go back more of the.
You talking about kind of reboot the series like they do with
No Judgment. What Judgment was a prequel.
Yeah, I'm not more so in the.
Oh, you talking about before everything?
On Marcus Phoenix.
A little bit more of that backstory because they had a great story with Gears Tactics. If anybody played it, the story was dope and it showed how the COG actually created, you know what I'm saying, the Horde. So, what about touching on that backstory maybe in Gears?
I think it needs to focus on Marcus Phoenix. He's like
the main.
They need to somehow, if they want to do a.
See, What's that was talking about that how what happened in Gears 5. The some of the choices they made with the story in Gears 5 kind of backed them into a corner.
Yeah, because
you had to choose. Well, I don't want to spoil it.
It don't matter. Yeah, it don't matter. I still got to beat it.
You had to choose an individual. So at that point, depending on what you did, supposed to
perfect the next game, right?
Yeah. So how did they decide?
Extent of it exactly.
And so it'll be interesting where they go. I think on the multiplayer side, I do think we know Gears is. We know Gears we know Gears is Gears.
Right.
But what could they do to kind of not so much reinvent the wheel, but kind of add some how should I say modern? I don't want to say modern game. I don't want them to Fortnite or Call of Duty it. Would you guys would want them to keep it the same? In terms of
Cold Train, I'm telling you that now.
You can't what?
We need train. We need Cold Train, baby. Can't change, brother. But I'm just saying, them people, those names are like monumental to Gears. Even Marcus Phoenix. So it's like it's hard to touch on the characters on one aspect when it comes to the story. Again, I'm not worried about multiplayer. Multiplayer is gonna hit. There's nothing on the market that I know of that can even compare to Gears.
Yeah, Gears is super addictive.
Yeah.
Super addictive. I know people look at it and say it's just a shotgun fest, but the learning curve to Gears is very high. And the wall bouncing and stuff like that and how you use is very technical. It's not, when you look at it, it looks easy. It's look easy. And then until you pick up the controller, then you like,
yeah, I ain't wall bouncing nothing.
Hold on, what's this? And
he good.
How he moving like that, and why I can't move like, yeah, it's a learning curve. But once you get the hang of it, it's a very technical shotgun fest. You know what I'm saying? Because it looks like it's easy because you're just shooting a shotgun. No,
it's not though.
Get in there with some people that know. Yeah, get in there with some people that know what they're doing, and you gonna see why. You're gonna see why. Yeah. Shout out to Lord Maxie with the $5. I think Microsoft learned from Bungie when they made Destiny, and they let Playground make the new Fable. So that's the second IP.
Okay. So you think that
you talking about in terms of the coalition, Maxie?
Coalition was going to be doing Fable?
Because we know Playground is working on probably the next Forza Horizon and Fable.
Idles Interactive and Playgrounds actually, right? Working on Fable.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna move along. We ain't gonna stick on that for too long. We're gonna move along. What we got next? Okay, we're gonna knock these. Matter of fact, we're gonna hold off on that. We're gonna go to. We're gonna talk about this Tomb Raider. What's going on with Tomb Raider, man? And Lord have mercy. I don't know what Square Enix was thinking. I really don't know what Square Enix was thinking. Let me pull this up.
Hold on, what do you mean by that? Hold on.
Because if the rumors are true, right? If this is fact, I think it's true, right? Let me do this here.
You're talking about Amazon, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Going to Amazon, yeah.
Okay, so let me put this on screen. Well, let me see. So what the rumor is that TVC is in the works. Here we go. Okay, here we go. Let me put this on screen. And the reason why I said I don't know what's going on with Square Enix is because, and I don't know if Square Enix trying to cut weight, so they can be purchased or acquired by someone. Everybody thinking Sony. The rumor's been going around for a while that Sony is going to acquire Square Enix. But it says Amazon is reportedly working on a Tomb Raider TV show, which is currently in development stages, with Fleabag's Emmy Award-winning Phoebe Waller-Bridge writing the script. That's another article talking about the seemingly endless line of TV shows. But what happened? What the real story here is that Embracer Group brought all of those IPs from Square Enix for $300 million.
Mm-hmm.
Then turn around and sold Tomb Raider to Amazon for $600 million.
The biggest flip ever, bro. You can't be mad.
What are we doing here? Absolutely, that's great.
Yo,
I doubled my profit. I doubled my profit.
On Stock Trader 101, bro.
Come on now, on a well-known IP that I can make into a movie or a TV script, and still make a video game for it. Baby, that's good, boy. That's good eating. That is good business. Somebody raise this year for this one. That is a
wait. Hold on. This Square Enix fumbled the bag.
They fumbled. Oh,
they fumbled the bag.
They lowballed themselves because they didn't understand the potential in which they had. Because I think, me personally, was a while back that this deal happened. I don't think they understood how prolific Tomb Raider
Okay.
is as a title. I don't think they understood that to the
Okay.
point where they could have, you know what I'm saying, got a little bit more money.
Was it the market at the time? Because this happened last year. I don't think we was dealing with
I want no market.
inflation. Won the thing.
Market, no.
So they fumbled the bag, right? Like, did they not? I don't know. Like, how did
Like you
like who told them this? Look, who like who
yo,
I can't even get it out. Like,
I don't know
who did the assessment on them IPs and valued that package at 300 million?
You know what? They probably was going through a rough spell at the time. They probably was looking at the sales of the previous Tomb Raider and how, because it was reports that came out that said, you know, it didn't hit their expectations, even though
They did. They lost a lot. Yeah,
it could have played a part also.
Square Enix, in terms of their IP,
Mm-hmm.
been making a lot of, I wouldn't say a lot of bad decisions. They just haven't been hidden.
Right.
Like they, you had the Marvel joint. I think they lost a lot of money on that.
On the Avengers.
On the Avengers, the Tomb Raider joint. The recent titles outside of the mainline Final Fantasy titles haven't really been doing that good in reviews and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I think what they did, I think them decisions were made out of emotion, bro. That's the only.
Because look,
that makes sense to me.
and I look at that. You sell all these IPs for 300 million and include Crystal Dynamics and all that, the studio, all that. You sell all that, right?
Right.
And then Embracer takes one IP
and go
out of that. And doubled up. And
double.
And that's just one IP out of the many that they brought.
You took the IP that had the biggest story. You had a Tomb Raider been around since PlayStation, since the one. So I'm just looking, hypothetically speaking, we've seen the success of Last of Us. We've seen what happened with Halo when this dropped, with its content. And even with Uncharted at this point. You took a Tomb Raider who's been around since the PlayStation. The story alone is for movies. So if I'm finna promote, I'm finna get the character that's playing right here on this little trailer that I popped up. Shout out to MK. I'm using everybody's little YouTube videos at this moment to go with the subject, but I'm taking this individual that's playing this character that's recent, and we finna drop these movies.
Yo, that's
rated, all the blood and gore, female protagonists out here fighting for artifacts.
Question.
I see the dollars already.
If Embracer Group was willing to part ways with an IP such as, so is that just the movie rights or is that the gaming rights as well?
No, I'm just
they own the IP. They got it.
They own the IP, so they own everything dealing with movie and gaming.
Yeah, I'm just speaking on the movie because I can see the potential with it. But it did not drop a video game, and I third party it out to every. Come on, bro. They got a bag. They somebody celebrating pretty good. They end of the quarter yearly is gonna be phenomenal.
Okay, the question I have for you all. If Embracer is willing to part ways with an IP such as Tomb Raider, after Microsoft get done with this acquisition, you think they'll put Crystal Dynamics up for sale?
What do they have left though?
Hey, I think I've been on record saying that, right, Post? I think I'm on record saying that
left for
I think Microsoft was gonna,
I think it's worth Phil making that call.
But what do they have? Because nigga, they just took Tomb Raider.
What you mean? What do they have?
I'm help me out with what they have outside of Final
what are they having?
You talk about, you said Crystal Dynamics. What does Crystal Dynamics have in the tuck?
What you mean? What they have in the tuck?
Like what
Oh,
game?
they got a lot. Crystal
Period.
Dynamics got.
Like
Yeah,
I'm
They
looking.
got they got a lot of legacy titles.
I'm not worried
I know they
about
got
that.
like hey, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
Oh
yeah.
yeah. I know they got Gecko. They got like Legacy of Kain, the Soul Reaver. Like they got like a lot of legacy like games we used to play like back on PlayStation and Dreamcast,
Mhm.
PS2 era.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Um,
I
I
don't.
would get them. I would grab them, bro. And I think I'm on record saying that I think Embracer Group they were trying to make a money play. I think they grabbed Idols and Crystal Dynamics because they know a bigger buyer would come and get them. I was hoping Microsoft would walk away with Tomb Raider. I ain't gonna lie, but
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that would have been a dope. That would have been dope.
they
That
got
would have been
Crash and
fire.
Burn, Total Eclipse, Off World Intercept, The Horde,
Mhm.
Echo, Samurai Showdown.
But that one my that
Right?
one my that's not the reason why I asked that question. I wasn't so much worried about the catalog of IP they have.
Uh,
I'm talking about what they're doing in congruent with another studio that Microsoft have that's
both of
working
them,
on a big IP called Perfect Dark,
both no
uh,
look,
right?
both
yeah.
Perfect Dark and Fable. Remember
And even
Idols is working with Playground Games
on
with Fable
Fable, right? And
and Crystal
so,
Dynamics.
and the
Yeah,
guy that heads the Initiative Studio
Mm,
used to run the Crystal Dynamics Studio. So he's
yeah,
already familiar with the employees,
and everything.
the employees, and from what I heard, that's the reason why a lot of the developers that they hired at the initiative, why a lot of left because um it was either his way or the highway in terms of his direction in which Perfect Dark. It wasn't no flexibility there. You know what
Let
I'm
me ask
saying?
you this: Is that
It was his way. It was his way or no way, from what I heard.
let me ask y'all this: Is this the perfect dark that everybody loves and no one loves?
We don't know that yet.
See, I don't know, man.
We don't know that yet until
On
we
these,
haven't seen nothing from it since
I'll
that
be
little
real with
CGI
you.
trailer.
I,
I ain't never loved Purple Dark, so
yeah,
I just you know what I'm saying.
I would say this. I would say this. I would say this. On They dropped the ball with Perfect Dark on 360. Rare dropped the ball. Now, I think that was around the time because I think the OG Xbox ushered in normal mapping. And then in the 360 era, I would say this: the textures and things like that was done in that Perfect Dark was incredible.
Oh yeah,
Outside of
yeah.
that, the character models and all that in some of the
Gameplay,
environments were
the shooting
terrible.
was it? The shooting was
But the
horrible.
multiplayer, that's where it was. That's where it was. They dropped the ball on the story, but the multiplayer, people had fun with the multiplayer. But it didn't last long because you had so many other games that came in that year. The 360 was just hot, but they dropped the ball in the 360 era with this IP, and that's why we didn't see it for a while. And I want to see what they're gonna do with it now. So
yeah, I don't know. I might just lead them in the win, and then we could just pick at their bones when they it's over with.
shout out to Deuces X with the $10. Thank you. Embracer Group said you get the bag and fumble it. I get the bag and
Like
flip
and
it
Tom.
and tumble it.
Shout out to you, Deuce.
Exactly.
For the brother,
Exactly. Shout out Deuces.
Hey yo, but
Exactly.
but let me clarify though. I'm saying like I've never been I've been a GoldenEye fan, but Perfect Dark I kind of skipped through that, so they got a fresh start with me.
right?
Yeah.
When
Yeah,
it comes
Yeah.
to
I think
Perfect
it's a
Dark.
fresh start with a lot of people because I think in the 360 era, a lot of people didn't get access or play that specific Perfect Dark. I played it a little bit. It kind of moved kind of wonky to me. It was something that I couldn't get into. I didn't see the real hype around it. I know a lot of people back then liked it. I didn't really see the hype around it, but it came and went. So it
It
didn't
was
last long.
it was off that GoldenEye hype. Cause remember,
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken, I think Perfect Dark started off as a
yeah,
GoldenEye
Mkai, it
game, and
was. They was
they
plastic
lost the
people.
license.
They was
They lost
plastic.
the license. They had to you make it Perfect Dark with Joanna Dark instead of James Bond. But I will say this though, they get Crystal Dynamics. They
Yeah.
need to redo the Soul Reaver and Legacy. Y'all ain't never been on Legacy of Kain and Soul Reaver fans.
No, I hear a
Yeah,
lot of people asking
I rock
for
with him. I rock with him on the demo disc when he used
it.
to come out.
Yeah, man, I had to get the games, especially the Legacy of
Think
Kain
they
games.
worth a couple sending a couple M's that way to buy them out? Like, no, not really. I think they just took the ribs up out of this company, to be honest with you.
To a Tomb Raider. Hey, Microsoft need to get it back.
Hey, what?
They
Hey,
took
get,
ribs
get,
up
get,
out of them.
get Laura Croft back.
They took the what?
The ribs. It's just a body sitting here right now because I don't know if Perfect Dark is worth it or Legacy of Kain, to be honest with you, for purchase.
Okay.
That's what I mean by for purchase. Now, a third party, we publish it and help you out with development. Yeah, cool. But to own, I'm
Okay.
good on that.
All right, we're gonna move on to our next topic. I think Mello, you brought this to the table.
Woo!
EA delays Star Wars Jedi Survival for crucial extra polish time. This one is a little unexpected. Seemingly out of nowhere, EA has delayed the upcoming Star Wars Jedi Survival out of its March release date to allow for a bit of extra development time ahead of launch. Thankfully, the delay isn't a long one.
Mhm.
Respawn Entertainment's upcoming action adventure now hits all platforms on April 28th, including Xbox Series X and S. That's roughly 6 weeks later than the game's previous release date, which was March 17th. What you guys think about that?
Uh, the
Is
reason why
that
I brought this up, or the reason why I even thought about this whole content on this one, is
Mhm.
more for you guys in the chat. And with these companies now saying, "Hey, we're delaying the game for bugs and fixing errors."
Mhm.
Ever since the I want to say the Cyberpunk incident, it
Mhm.
seems like a lot of developers are being more cautious about what they send out to the public.
Yeah.
Of course, do y'all think that's a good thing or bad thing, even though it's coming with a delay? Because this is messing with their time frame and their window. You're talking about 6 months prior, and around that time we probably be getting Madden or something else. So that could overshadow this game. So what do y'all?
What? It's 6 weeks.
Yeah, I don't think it's got anything to do with bugs.
Oh, I thought it was 6 months. I'm
No, it's 6 weeks. I had to catch you
Yeah,
there, bro. I didn't want you to put yourself out there like that.
sorry.
I said, hold on, 6 months in it with man.
Yeah, it's coming out around Madden 2K. I'm like, hold on.
Look, I think this is a good thing, especially in a day and age where we kind of seen the blowback in kind of the fallout when a game is rushed out there to consumers that's not polished and things like that. Your Cyberpunk 2077 is a perfect example. Give it the time it needs. That's why I'm not worried about
Starfield.
Microsoft delaying Starfield.
Mhm.
I think it's a pivotal moment for Bethesda because this is the first time their IP is going to have to put a whole community and the console on its back and carry it for a while. Redfall is going to have to do that, and Starfield is going to have to do that, at least into the other big IP that we expect from Microsoft is able to be shown and get release dates. But Starfield has the job that no other Microsoft IP has at this moment. Everybody is excited for Hellblade 2,
Mhm.
but Hellblade 2 is not going to carry.
Right.
That's Starfield. So, in terms of EA with the Star Wars, yeah, push it back if it needs time. If the community is mad about it, they'll be mad, but they won't be mad for long because as soon as they get another release date and that release date come about, all that energy and whatever they was feeling is gonna go out the door, and they're gonna pre-order and buy the game like they was in the first place. You know what I'm
Gotcha.
saying?
Gotcha.
So
Okay. Yeah, my bad on the 6 months. I thought.
yeah, she's 6 months. You done sum me up, man. I didn't even have to put this in the title. Talking about a 6 week delay. Shout out to my brother Bay Area with the $5. What up, Noah Mello and Post? How would you guys feel if 343 rebooted Halo CE in a darker tone on Unreal 5 instead of continuing Infinite story arc. What y'all think about that?
I would rather get DLC for Halo Infinite.
Mhm.
But I don't think I don't think that's a bad idea though.
Okay.
A reboot? Yeah, I'm cool on the reboots. I ain't even gonna hold you. Master Chief Collection pretty much covered that for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think Halo needs to be rebooted.
I need to get that battle royale out of me. That would need to be doing.
mhm.
I just seen a Forge version of battle royale. Didn't look too bad either. I'm actually gonna check that out on my off
Oh
day.
yeah, we can check that out.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna do it tomorrow if you down for it.
Yeah, let me see if I can bring up this tweet because I'm
Get this
on the topic of Halo. On what? Somebody did what?
But shout out to you, Bay Area. Appreciate it. Make sure you hitting that like button, y'all. What you mean? What's going on, bro?
It's some haters out here.
They done overfried the oxtail. What you talking about?
No, hold on. Is this PC Gamer?
PC Gamer in the chat? Or?
Just published a review for Hi-Fi Rush
Oh
and gave it a 69?
Oh,
wow.
come on, PC Gamer. Hold on.
Wait, hold on. What are we doing here? Like,
They dropped it down to 86. Wow.
They said stop the steal.
Yeah.
Stop the steal. Oh, Hi-Fi Rush. Hey man. See, that's the part that be tripping with me with this mess because that's just disrespectful.
And then oh, is it on the PC version? I don't see that. It's got a 90 on PC.
Yeah.
Credit reviews.
Like
CL
you on trying to
I
down.
don't see it. Where you see that post?
hold on. Let me put this on. Forgive me, we're gonna get sidetracked because we're gonna get sidetracked. This, hey, a lot of these people, man, I don't know if they mad because Microsoft kind of shadow dropped it or whatever. Some of these reviews has been very questionable. You can't get mad at the Xbox community when they scream bias about some of these the review. Look, hold on, let me bring this up, man.
Yeah, man, hold on, brother. It's fake news.
Let me bring this up on the screen. Let me bring this up on the screen. Okay, I'm not sad enough for no newsletter out there. Y'all just disrespected this goatee like that. Let me do this here. Hey, flipping, this is an agenda out here, but I don't know what you talking about.
Man,
when you score a game low because you're saying Microsoft, what Metro UK say? They scored it low.
But they ain't dropped no games last year.
They ain't dropped no games last year. We can't get this game a high score that it deserves because Microsoft didn't put out no games last year. What?
Yeah.
Hold on, let me put this on screen.
Say, yeah, we hating straight like that.
Yeah, I think this was some fake news. Man.
Y'all see this?
Yeah, I see that, man.
An impressive beat-based action game that loses most of its impact by the end.
What? Oh, nah.
I don't know what they playing. This game gets harder and harder the more you play
it. What, who they been talking to, but yeah, that ain't it, Chief. That is not it.
Yo, this is crazy.
Yeah. Make sure y'all hit that like button.
You know what? I know the Xbox community, whoever wrote this or published this review, they're going to go back. You know what the Xbox community going to do? They're going to go back and compare all his, look at his review history, see what scores he gave other games that's on other systems. And if it ain't adding up, if the audio ain't matching the video, then they're gonna call him out. But this right here, this. I'm lost for words. Like when I just seen this in the DM.
Oh, okay, that's where. Cause I was about to say, I ain't seeing nothing that even look like that post. I'm sorry to tell.
Let me see here.
And they hit it with the rise, bro. The
Yeah,
69.
this would be the PC
Yeah.
version. RTX 3080, Ryzen 9, 39X, 32 gigabytes of RAM. So this would be the PC version.
Mm.
The PC version runs smooth though. There's no complaints.
Yeah, look.
I don't know what this person
Yeah.
Half-Life Rush set list is too limited to fully embrace its chosen era of music. What?
Yeah.
They complain. They said it ain't good because the music. They don't like the music.
Yeah. He said that music ain't hitting.
Despite its killer opening act, Hi-Fi Rush fails to sustain its blend of rhythm and action all the way until the end.
Mm.
Yo, this,
Tell me how you really feel.
like, look, I don't know. I don't know. But you know what? This why I like that Microsoft Shadow dropped the game
Hmm.
because it allowed if it put the reviewers and the gamers on the same playing field. They got access to the game at the same time. So the gamers was able to judge for themselves. And that's another thing. What's great about Game Pass? I know this ain't another Game Pass commercial or infomercial, but I'm just saying, you feel me?
Truth is the truth.
The truth is the truth. This is why Game Pass is so important. You shadow drop this game into Game Pass, um, and allow gamers to
But
play something that they probably, you know what I'm saying, would not have played or purchased. But since they got an opportunity to play it, a lot of people went and brought it as well.
yep, pretty much.
I don't know. I don't even want to read this review. I don't even want. I don't know. Oh, you know what? We're gonna move
You
on
should.
because
Read it. Read it. You should
hold
read
on,
it,
hold
bro.
on. I can read some of it. I can read. Okay.
Turn off this flutter.
For all of its screaming, electric guitars, and raucous drums, Hi-Fi Rush is surprisingly low key, smashing apart killer robots to the beat of licensed rock tracks from artists like Nine Inch Nails, the Black Keys, and the Prodigies is rad as hell. It's like going for a run and trying to sync each step to the album you're jamming to. It's playing Devil May Cry, but every drum hit in Bury the Light is an opportunity to continue your combo. But after establishing its hook in a killer opening, Half-Fi Rush high energy starts to wane. I don't know how. Half-Fi Rush has a bright, cell-shaded world atop a heavy killer robots, the kind of goofy aesthetic that play well on a blurry TV screen in the background of an NCIS episode. What? It looks extremely like a video game from the mid 2000s. It's it's largely the music combined with its snappy animation style that elevates this simple aesthetic. Trees, lampposts, and pipes bouncing along to the soundtrack, and main character Chai is constantly snapping his fingers, which causes a tiny comic book spark to appear each time.
Oh, he got in his bag.
I
Bag.
guess he don't watch animes because it, but Vandalay Technologies, they have a corporation. I guess so you get to break it down. Let me see, bad together, everything. I don't want to go through this thing. Know this.
Well, just
Yeah.
read the negative part. What was the
I'm about
Let
to
me
say you
see.
know what he was saying. The whole
no,
thing.
no, that wasn't a negative. That was just explaining what the game is. But
I'm about to say they
What's the
got
other?
cameras in
there's a lot of spoilers in this review.
Man.
Yeah, I ain't got time to I ain't got time to funnel through that right now, man. But I know you're a screenshot. I'll send you the
No,
link,
negative.
brother.
All right, fair enough. Fair
Look
enough.
at South Star with the ponyism kicking in. I support this great writer on his review, boy. Y'all know, y'all.
Oh
Hey, boy, let me
man,
tell you something. You pony,
Wow.
you PlayStation fans, man, been hoping that they get so it don't get a 90. All right, so let me do this here. So what we got
yo,
next
PC
here?
game is a new survivor, huh?
Yeah, let me do this here and go here because we're gonna get into the PlayStation news. And that will correlate. I want to find. Hold on, let me do this here. I want to find and read some and get y'all perspective on this. What is her name? Here we goes right here. So I want to sidetrack for a minute here before we get into the PlayStation news, because the PlayStation news is going to kind of coincide with the Microsoft Active Vision stuff that I'm gonna update you all on. And since Bayera brung up Halo, I want to put this on screen and I want to read some of this. Um, I was reading it. It's a long thread. I can't read all of it, but I do want to put this on screen, and I want to get y'all perspective on this, because ever since the layoffs at 343 and the leaks and all that stuff and the rumors, more and more people that work for 343 has been coming out and been very open, or people that know people that work there, right? All right. So let me do this here. Let me put this on screen. All right. This person name is Haley. Haley say, last year I was contacted by a former 343 employee who was there since the start. She was employee 7 before Frank. If y'all don't know who Frank is, that is Frank O'Connor,
Okay.
who's been there since I think the OG Halo. Okay. She said, well, she had also worked with Bonnie. Bonnie Ross was the head of 343 Studios for a long time. She is no longer the head of the studio.
Okay.
Um, I heard some. Well, I ain't gonna get into that, but we're gonna keep going. She was a face. She was the face of the franchise. She moderated all the panels and started the community team and helped produce the game. Those at 343 and some from the industry reading this will know who it is, and that there's no way for me to know this much about the employee in 343 unless she had told me herself. The same goes for 2 other former employees who told me things which will be mentioned further on. This employee had also ran the Make a Wish program for Halo. It
Mm.
was done in secret because Halo was an M-rated game and the Make a Wish recipients were kids. She left in 2014 after her baby was born. Bonnie then got a seat on the board of Make a Wish. She
Okay.
said working at 343 was toxic as and that everything I said about Frank, who became her manager, is true. She said Frank said hurtful things about her newborns. She had to ask him to stop twice. That Frank also freely used racist Chinese language because his wife is Chinese.
Oh damn.
The toxicity at 343 was never talked about because it's all very powerful people who protect themselves. And he, Frank, is beloved and Bonnie's emotional support employee. Bonnie protects him and Kiki. Bonnie is no longer, I want, before I continue, out of the 3 people she named, Frank, Bonnie, and Kiki,
Mm-hmm.
Bonnie is no longer at 343. Kiki is no longer at 343 as well. I don't know if Frank is still there or not. He might still be there, but those 2 out of the 3 is no longer there. These are her exact words. It's also why I never trusted leadership. Another former employee had been with 343 for a long time said leadership has no clear vision and strategy and little understanding of how games are made. Some do not even understand the development pipeline and are only suits waiting for their next paycheck. Some managers are hot headed, arrogant, and have belittled employees, and they aren't always honest with and about their employees. Leadership protects its friends and the toxic individuals in middle management and will always believe their words over an employees. Mistakes by higher ups are sometimes blamed on the employees. They also show favoritism, prefer submissive employees, do not reward those who work hard and deserve it, make empty promises, and that most of the management team elicits this behavior. There's there's lack of a cohesive tools vision. and leadership is incompetent and incapable of properly allocating resources. Senior management is a hodgepodge of incompetent people who don't truly care about the franchise and are never able to articulate a clear vision. Respect, integrity, and accountability is lacking, and the workplace is tainted with cronyism. Leadership is incompetent and negligent and refuses to acknowledge the toxic and stressful work environment. There's there's no accountability for leadership. The third employee says similar things. Managers are toxic, but Bonnie protects her friends. And the franchise director, Frank, makes decisions that distance the game from the original series. Some multiplayer designers chase trends. Not everyone shares the same vision. Some of the things in the original games are seen as outdated or boring concepts. There's strong disagreement in ideas, and aligning the teams is sometimes difficult. This explains why some former employees have been liking my post criticizing 343 in their decision. Some devs who had worked on Halo 4 and 5 disliked some weapon designs from the original games and how they work. Some of the same devs also likely worked on Infinite. Elites in multiplayer was seen as childish and didn't embed with the vision of a competitive Halo. And that's crazy because the Halo community did want them to put the elites back in multiplayer.
Yeah. Yep.
It goes on to say it's not only leadership that doesn't want a traditional Halo game, but also some of the devs. There are or were very few at 343 who understood Halo and, like most fans, dislike what it has become. An amalgamation of modern shooters with a Halo skin, a generic FPS. The reason 343 has never had a consistent vision and why there is a conflict in vision and ideas among the team is because nobody there understands Halo and wants to keep changing it into something different. They know what's the fans want. So why is there a conflict in the vision? It's because they don't want to cater to Halo's core audience. They see the original fan base as a burden that prevent them from changing Halo into something other than Halo. It's almost as if they are in a constant mental battle with fans every time they develop a Halo game. In 2012, O'Connor, which is Frank, she's talking about Frank again. Frank O'Connor said, "We at 3-4 Industries have a no appeasement doctrine, which is different than a no satisfaction doctrine, which we profoundly embrace satisfying people. This tells us all we need to know about 343 and why the Halo IP needs to be taken away from them." Wow.
Dang.
Wow. Wow. Hey.
Mic drop.
Hey. Hey.
Yo.
Hey, it keeps going.
Oh, it's more?
Hey, other Zeke, I know you ain't gonna like what you hear, brother. And no, look, and I just wanted to look, all my Xbox, brother. When we report on Xbox news, all the time it's not gonna be positive, right?
Yeah, pretty
We
much.
can't just focus on the positive and exclude the negative. We have to be balanced in our approach. We have to be balanced in our approach. And the reason why we do that, because if we see something we don't like, we need to speak up on it so we can hold Xbox and the people behind it accountable. So
Right.
they know what we want as a consumer and as a gamers and as a community.
Fact.
Now, whether you believe this or not, I will let you interpret that. I won't determine for you what you should believe or not. But this, what she is saying here, kind of coincides with the leaks we read about before Halo Infinite dropped. And when all the turmoil started going on about Halo Infinite after the demo and all the it coincides. The studios were some of the developers were in conflict with each other at 343 in terms of the direction of the game itself.
Right.
So this is, and I know my brother Neth in the chat, who is one of the super hardcore Halo fan. and he had a Halo channel. I don't know if he's still doing his Halo channel, but he was happy. Man, his channel was going so fast because all he reported on was Halo. I'll read a little more, and then we'll continue with the show. But this is why leadership is not the only problem at 343. Some developers are also the problem. They do not like nor care about the things that make Halo fun and great, and see fans as people blinded by nostalgia. They chase trends and copy formulas and mechanics from other games.
God.
Look at Halo 4. Look at Halo 5. Look at the multiplayer in Halo 5. It went away from what Halo was. And you can't dispute that.
Yeah, yeah.
Halo 5 multiplayer was not core original Halo. It was trying to be something that it wasn't.
You say the same about Halo 4.
The same with Halo 4.
Yeah.
They didn't even like the enemies in Halo 4. What is this? They didn't even like
Prometheans.
the Prometheans in Halo 5.
Yeah, buddy.
I will say this though, I did like Halo 4 campaign. Like
Yeah,
the campaign was fire.
I'm just saying we have to be, like I said, we have to have not all the time things gonna be positive.
That's fire, brother.
You feel me?
Well,
we have to be balanced in our our assessment, right? We love Xbox and things like that, but we can give constructive criticism on things about that we don't like. You know what I'm saying? And I use this analogy a lot. I'd rather tell somebody and be honest with them about something to allow them to go outside in front of a million people they don't know and hear it from them. Because the a million people that they're going to hear it from, they're going to be way harsher than I am. You feel me?
And the story changing. So, yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So, and so this is coming to the public. We'll be notified of this stuff, and this is stuff we want to know behind the scenes. This is behind the scenes stuff we don't usually get access to because the industry is so closed off. You know?
I don't know if I really want to know this type of information to an extent. Now, people being harmed and harassment is going on. Yeah, you need to get them guys who's doing it, or those individuals that's doing it, women included, that's doing it, get them removed. I do believe in removing the problem. I don't care who it is of power at that point, because again, this is supposed to be a passion project. This is supposed to be something. This is Halo we talking about here. This is a multi-billion-dollar revenue game we're talking about, and you're talking about love and hip hop episodes going on internally, and they got
that's not what we saying, other Zinc. That's not what we saying. See, I know you're a passionate Xbox fan, but I know you're passionate. We're just reading. This didn't come from us. This didn't come from us. We're just reading. We're just informing. And I put this on screen for those because I'm not going to read the thread. The thread is super, super long. I'm talking about it's a lot here. It's a lot. Like, let me see. It goes on. It keeps, you know what I'm saying?
Don't get it twisted.
It keeps, you know what I'm saying? The thread is super long.
The problem is a problem at the end of the day. And when people's livelihood is getting compromised and people are going through these challenges as going to work and provide a product, it's a problem, period. Don't care about what brand, what company it is. It doesn't matter.
Dude, I studied Microsoft in college. They do not play workplace discrimination. I don't know about that. It's a form of discrimination in all forms of workplaces.
Yeah.
Whether big or small, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to finish reading a little of this and then we're going to move along. But y'all got the Twitter handle here. You guys can go on Twitter, look her up on Twitter and kind of check out. And she's responding to another thread of somebody that was releasing information too as well. So we'll see. She say Frank and Kiki were instrumental in building the original dev team and are responsible for the direction of the games. Bonnie mostly runs the business side of things. She did. There's a lack of accountability for middle management. Leadership is mostly responsible for the toxic culture. Some managers are aggressive and lack respect for their employees. Disagreements is not appreciated. I know colleagues who've been bullied and have been burnt out. That was quite obvious negative stereotyping. Employees don't make reports out of fear of being fired. The company has a toxic and transparency lacking culture and is run by a dysfunctional leadership. There's incompetence, hurt the creativity and productivity of the teams. Disagreements and differences in ideas aside, every one of us wanted to make a great game for the fans. And this is the last one I'm gonna read, and then y'all can go read it yourself. Management's poor communication and inconsistent vision impacted the deadlines. Many fans disliked Infinite not because of the issues, but because to them it's not Halo. But many, not all, the issues like lack of content and incomplete features is mainly because of leadership. Mm,
Mm.
So,
Yeah, buddy.
oh, and she even hold on, I'm gonna get because she tagged. Hold on, let me. I get two more, two more. The
Mhm.
toxicity and stress had got worse after the launch of Infinite, and with constant backlash, developers see online every day from thousands of fans. It's mentally taxing. Infinite would have been in a better state had leadership not been incompetent and made stupid decisions. He
Mm.
went on. Leadership has never been completely honest and transparent with Phil Spencer about the state of affairs. Phil Spencer and Matt Booty are unaware of the toxic culture that is the product of leadership behavior and incompetence in which they deliberately concealed.
Mm.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
So 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 when she's saying leadership, she's not talking about Phil Spencer or Matt Booty or anything. She's talking about the leadership that's running the studio, which was at that time was Bonnie Ross, Kiki Wolf, I think Wolfkill or something like that, if that's her last name, and Frank O'Connor. Those are the three persons, not her, but the employee that she's quoting. She's saying that Bonnie Ross, Kiki, and Frank was never clear. They was concealing, keeping Phil Spencer and Matt Booty. Wow, that's crazy.
Unaware of the internal issues.
Unaware of what was going on, because now you see why people like, how could this happen to Halo on Phil and Matt's
Oh,
watch?
right, right.
And this to me would be the reason why. It's because they wasn't fed the real that was going on at the studio.
Which
Hey,
probably
but
to
let me say this though. Like most companies have like a open door policy where you don't have to go directly through your manager if you're having problems.
Yeah.
Uh, so I'm just wondering, like, if and I'm not defending anybody, but if it was that bad, why didn't Phil Spencer and Matt Booty know about it?
Yeah. But see, they said that they was in fear of their job. They was in fear of losing their job.
I get it, but most companies have like an anti-retaliation
And you
policy,
wonder,
bro. Like, especially
Bonnie Ross go, Kiki go.
right. The individual you're speaking of is gone at that
I
moment.
don't know if Frank is still there,
So,
but I
yeah.
know Pierre took over the studio. They fired and let go 95 people. And who knows? Whoever included
Patch hold up.
in them 95 was contributing to the environment. You had to clean house a little bit. And
Right.
we've been saying that for years. Um, in terms of the things I heard about Bonnie Ross, I'm not going to get into it, but you know, we've been saying that for years that she wasn't the right fit for the job, and that she wasn't doing the good thing. Now, I think she had overstayed her welcome there. I think they should have been did this. They should have been did this years ago,
Yeah.
but it happened, and so we got to see where it goes from here.
That's if this is all true. And again, I'm not blaming, I'm not defending none of these individuals because I don't
Mm.
know them. But you got to take what she said into consideration, and hopefully whatever's going on is resolved. That's the only thing I can really say about it at this point.
Because when the leaks came out around Infinite, when after that they showed that bad demo or that bad trailer of the game, and
With the
you
Craig,
start with Craig and all that stuff, and
Mhm.
the leaks start coming out about them having issues with certain features in the game. It being a clash on the direction of the games and just certain systems and stuff not working that you wouldn't really expect given how long how tenured 343 is as a studio. I mean that it was a new studio created, but most of the developers from Bungie that worked on Halo came over to 343. You know what I'm saying? Frank O'Connor was with Bungie. He came over. Let me see here. The fact that O'Connor has never been held accountable for making gross, sexist, derogatory, and racist remarks and deliberately antagonizing people of faith on NeoGAF and Reset Era. Yep, I remember that. I remember that. That is fact. He said some racist things on NeoGAF and Reset Era, and I think he got blocked. I think he got banned from both. While being a Microsoft employee says a lot about leadership, some at 343 were aware of it. Wow. I don't know how far y'all go back, but I remember I was kind of flabbergasted to find out that the racist things that he said on NeoGAF and Reset Era. And I think he
My boy
got banned
Postman
from
said
both sides.
flabbergasted.
You feel
Oh
me?
man.
Real. You know, flabbergasted.
Oh, now this is true. This is true. Hold on. Let me read this. The Pure Garlic O'Connor has done nothing but smear the face of this franchise with his I don't know what that is. Allegiance. Allegiance. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm gonna be honest. Oleaginous or something like that. Ass cheeks. For the past 12 years, it has shown utter incompetence at managing 343 and the franchise, along with Ross, who has been too focused on trying to become a George Lucas clone. Wow. But this way it gets interesting. This is where I agree. Yeah, this is spicy, Sagbag. I might just finish this off because this is I might just finish up. Meanwhile, Kiki Wolfkill has been hell bent on turning Master Chief into a delicate and emotional princess and wanting to make him so timid to the point that his testicles could end up retracting into his throat.
now,
These three individuals deserve the criticism
Oh
they're
no.
getting. Wow.
okay, now hold on. This is getting out of hand here.
Wow.
Yeah, this is, bro. Yeah.
Wow. Don't
Wait, you
but
That's a
minute there.
but
that's a sequel to the song.
but look at the TV show.
Nah.
Look at the TV. Bungie never wanted to humanize Master Chief. Bungie never wanted to humanize Master Chief. And they spoke about this. Bungie spoke about not humanizing Master Chief. And then when it goes over to 343, Bonnie Ross come out, they want to humanize him. They want to humanize him. And even in a TV show, he's humanized, he's delicate, he's emotional. Master Chief ain't supposed to have emotion.
Yeah, that was what's your man argument and complaint. He said he got some Cuddy on the show. Uh,
Hold on. They also quietly they had also quietly kept a no Bungie people kind of rule at their company. They refused to hire former Bungie devs who worked on the original games and would be very careful and selective if they did because they believe the devs may interfere with their vision for Halo. I might as well read the last two because this the end of the thread. I want to thank y'all for no it ain't. See, it's a lot more, but I ain't for to read
She
all
got a
that.
lot to say, bro.
Look at this. This
Strong
is too much.
accusation.
This is too much. Y'all can go read the rest. See, it's still going. It's still going. Look at this.
She might not be lying post, but she sound like a scorned employee right now.
No, it's not her. She's quoting three. She interviewed three employees, three former employees.
Yeah.
So, and they all had the same, they all had the same thing to say.
Oh, so Haley didn't work for the company.
No, she's interviewing three employees that work for the company. Yeah, it's a long read. So and it keeps going. It keeps going. That's why I'm not reading. We'll be here all day. We'll be all here all day trying to read this. But if you look at Halo when it got in the hands of 343 all the way up into now, you gotta believe a lot of what she said, what the employees are saying. So if y'all want to go read the rest of it, it's a super long thread. It's a very informative thread, and like Nev said, it's a very important thread. Y'all got her handle. Go look her up on Twitter and read the rest.
Haley X24.
Yeah, yes. Look, look, I will leave the interpretation to you guys on whether y'all believe what I just read is true or not. I know some people like Other Zinc. I only see Other Zinc in the chat. I hope I put you away, Other Zinc. Other Zinc, but there you go, Other Zinc. There you go. There you go. Don't leave, Other. Don't leave.
Y'all ain't gonna talk about my Halo.
He said, I'll take care of this on the next show. Hey, we're going to have to get the Other Zinc on the show. We're going to have to get you on the show. You can't be in the chat when we talk about this again. We're going to want you on the panel because we're going to have to hear what you have to say about this, brother. All right, let me get this off screen. We're going to go on to the next topic, and we're going to talk about Wolverine as well as the numbers that Sony released today with some incredible number. PlayStation continues to dominate. And then we're going to talk about how these numbers have any impact on the Microsoft Activision deal that's going on now. Does this prove Sony's dominance? And does these recent numbers that Sony just released, does Microsoft take them into the negotiation portion of this deal to say, look, EU and CMA, the proof is in the pudding right here. Look at our quarter and look at them. They're dominating us right now. But we'll get there. First off, we're going to start with Wolverine. All right? And what did y'all think about that? And we kind of figured that the information that just came out about this. Let's see here. I'm gonna bring this up on the screen, and then that way y'all can follow along, and we can follow along. And Insomniac Wolverine game is reportedly targeting a mature rated game. I think it has to be an M-rated game. We're talking about Wolverine. You know what I'm saying? We wouldn't accept none of that. And so I like that about Sony. I do have an issue with Microsoft. A lot of their content, they got away from M-rated games. They start putting stuff in the teens. Halo came out, it was M-rated.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And what I would say is, even with Gears became less darker. You take kills out of game and you switching kills, you stopping people from smoking cigarettes. Like, you just took the gore ain't what it used to be from the first 3 Gears, how dark they was. Like, and I understand you're trying to create a culture for everybody to play in. But what I will say is, before I get back on this Wolverine, you are a corporation that is providing entertainment for consumers. You have features within that software that allow parents to be parents. That's why you have the family thing where parents can go in there and decide how long their children can have access to a game and things like that. Let parents raise their children. Let parents decide what their children can and can't play. I think often sometimes Microsoft try to be the parent. You're not. You're not the parent. Let the parents do the parent. Do the parenting. What is it?
I agree to that.
Huh? Go ahead
I
and hug it back.
definitely agree with that at that point. Yeah.
Mm. You have to let the parents be the parents. All right. Continue to do your M-rated games. Continue to do the gore and the violence and things like that. And leave it up to the parents to decide whether their kids have access to it or not. Okay? So we're gonna get back. That's all I wanted to say. That's all I wanted to say. You might say this is a dumb argument. We're not, this ain't an argument. I just was making a point. We're not arguing about anything. All right.
I don't know.
Okay.
Debate.
Okay.
So,
Insomniac Wolverine game is reportedly targeting a mature rating. The in development Marvel game could release as early as late 2024, it claims. So it says, according to Giant Bomb reporter Jeff Grubb, he's back on the map again. He's always dropping something. Who shared supposed details on the in development project during the live stream on Thursday. Hard R is what they're going for, and that's one of the concepts that I've heard. Grubb said, I think an M-rated Wolverine could work. I think an M-rated superhero game could work, and this is probably the right character. I agree. He later added, they will also avoid having any links or anything that invokes the Fox movies. They want it to stand on its own. I was trying to nail down the settings and have heard it will start before he joins the X-Men, which also makes sense for a Wolverine game. Maybe the surprising thing for me is that I've heard two different dates. I've heard as early as fall 2024, which would be wild. Insomniac is putting out Spider-Man 2 this fall. I've also heard internally that they're still very much talking about 2025. So let's not be surprised if that's what's happened. But if anyone can pull off releasing two major AAA massive games in back-to-back year, it is Insomniac. I do agree with that. I do agree with that. What y'all think about that? You know what? And Insomniac has been the horse for Sony. They've been carrying Sony through the entire front half of this generation. We ain't even at the half point of this, but I'm just saying. Kevin.
you got this, Noah?
Close the door.
Yeah, all I'm gonna say is I need to be an insider, bro. Did that man just say the game gonna come out anytime between this fall and 2028? Like,
No, he
bro,
said
like,
between fall of 2024 or sometime in 2025.
It's 2020.
yeah, man. This day and age, bro. I don't believe. I don't know. It's hard to go by the rumors, bro. There was ton of games that's supposed to drop in 2020 and they dropped to 2021 and 2022. And I get it.
I'll say
because of
2025.
COVID, but
Yeah.
let's see.
I'll
Let's
say
see Spider-Man 2 drop first
Yeah.
before we
I'll s-
because we know Spider-Man 2 is coming before Wolverine. That game they're targeting 2024, but who knows, right? I don't even think they're done developing the game.
Mm.
What you think, Mello?
I'm rocking with the M-rated. I got the little
Yeah, I like that.
story right now, gameplay up running. Literally, we was decapitating and taking arms and limbs off. So yeah, we're gonna have to go with that M-rated without a shadow of a doubt. Bro, again, it's Wolverine. You can't mess this up. They probably gonna go back to the origins, like you said, before he even joined the X-Men. So I get to fight Sabretooth at that point, which is gonna be dope. I'm just glad they're gonna remove themselves from the Spider-Man bullshit. I'm sorry to tell you. I'm tired of the pajama dude in New York swinging around.
Huh?
Team time. This is like Spider-Man 22.
What?
I'm sorry. Spider-Man 22, I'm not hyped for it. I'm gonna pass this one. I'm sorry. I don't even think they're gonna have co-op at this point. Like, I know they seen two Spider-Mans on the screen. Would be nice to see some co-op. I'm pretty sure they won't. I'm done with Spider-Man. Long story short, I'm done with that nigga.
What?
Let me play Wolverine at this point. I would rather they cancel Spider-Man than bring out Wolverine. I'm just gonna keep it a buck. They did Spider-Man me to death. I'm done with Spider-Man.
You wilding right now, Mello.
Wilding. I'm being honest. They are a great company. I feel like they are being stifled and just held back with them Spider-Man. Fuck Spider-Man.
What?
Give me Wolverine. I'm just gonna keep it a buck. Give me Wolverine. I'm done.
I think I'd rather play a Wolverine than Spider. Not to say I'm skipping Spider-Man. I'm gonna play it, but
I'm cool.
I'm a little more excited for Wolverine if they do it right. But that X-Men Origins was fire back in the
Man,
day.
come
Bro.
on. I'm looking at it. Come on, bro. He just
That thing was fire.
on a propeller and decapitated the dude right in front of us, bro. Give me Wolverine.
Verge Brizzle with the $2. I agree, Mello. So y'all tired of swinging through the city in spandex?
At the city with my pajamas on, trying to save Mary Jane. The bitch don't want to be saved. Leave her alone.
Hey, them SSD spandex though.
It's an SSD spandex.
Them SSD spandex, bro. You can't get them nowhere.
Those SSD spandex, bro. I can get that off of Amazon. We good. I want Wolverine with the blades, bro. I'm ready to I'm ready to kill something, bro. This man, every time I turn around, we in New York, we swinging around. They killed that. They killed it.
Wait, hold on.
They put Spider-Man with some Timberlands on. Everybody went crazy for the skins. Cool, great. I'm done.
How many people in the chat is tired of Spider-Man?
It ain't about the sales. It's about the principle, bro. Y'all sit here and complain and whine about Microsoft coming out with Gears, Halo, and Forza. These niggas is on Spider-Man 22. I'm done. I'm sorry. It's a wrap. I understand the kids love it. It's going to sell. I'm not taking anything away from its sales. Me personally, I just can't do the spandex no more. It's over with. That's how I feel.
Bro, look, man. I'd
rather have a tank top with some knives. Let me get that.
Look, this. I don't know what just happened.
Whatever.
I really don't know what this.
I'm not.
I don't know what to say. Like,
you can't tell me that you ain't tired of playing Spider-Man 22, bro. You still in New York. You still trying to say the same broad. Bro, it's done. They put some Timberlands on and a varsity jacket, and you niggas went out running in droves for this game. I'm cool. You bring out Wolverine. I don't care if they don't even got to do a movie. Just bring out the game. You can give me Origins remake. I don't care. Spider-Man's done for me, bro. I'm cool.
Mello make a good point though, bro. You know, you hear a lot of people complain about Halo and Gears being played out and old, but we've been playing Spider-Man games way before Halo and Gears dropped.
Thank you.
Spider-Man been Spider-Man since PS1, bro.
Spider-Man.
Like, swing,
ain't changed.
Fight enemies, cutscenes. It's more high production, but it's still the same game.
It's the same game. Look at this. Come on, you gonna deny this greatness right now? You see this?
I don't know how. Look, we was talking about Wolverine.
Do you see this?
Nah, folks, we gotta keep it real, bro. We keep it real here, bro. Let's be real, bro.
I love the honesty. Say it with your chest. Bruh. Say what you gotta. Don't hold back.
You're not saying it's a bad game.
Tell them how you really feel. Tell them how you really feel.
What's being said, bro. But it's the same game we've been playing. It's just more polished.
Just way more polished. Same character, same enemies. Y'all already know these niggas. Same Lois Lane. I'm done with them niggas.
Lois Lane, some Mary Jane.
Whatever. I'm done with them niggas, bro. I'm done.
Okay, I do want to say this. I got selected for the PlayStation beta today.
Okay. And Peter Park his ass.
For the beta program that got the VRR and supports VRR with 1440p, You're able to finally update the DualSense controller wirelessly.
Okay.
The Xbox been doing that for years now.
Look at you.
You can easily transfer your data from your PS5 console to another PS5 over a local network or LAN cable. Similar like what you could do with the Mac joints. And then also it also has the it comes with the Discord beta too, where you're able to join Discord on the PS5, but you got to do it from your cell phone like it initially it was on the Xbox, but we don't have to use our cell phones no more. So y'all, there's a little bit of catch up y'all playing there, but hopefully, and I ain't talking about no mustard, you know what I'm saying? No,
Just like
you know what I'm saying? So I okay.
Right, everybody
So,
transferring over to the
the code, I will say this: the voucher code I have, besides me using it, it will support up to 5 other people. So it could be used 5 times. So I'll figure out how much if you're a PlayStation dude in the chat and you want access to the beta, just let me know in the chat and I will try to send see who I can send the code to. Let me see. It says let me make sure here.
Make sure y'all hit that like button.
It says thank you. It says yeah, your beta voucher code can be redeemed by up to 5 qualifying accounts. So I don't know, am I included in that 5? I don't know, 5 qualifying accounts. So feel free to share it with friends that you know are happy to receive it. They must be 18 years old. Okay, so we'll see how it works. So we got Mike, Andy, we got 6200 block. Okay, that's 2. Okay, that's 2. Because I just installed it.
I'll tell you when you got extra.
Okay, update now. DualSense wire controller device software, update now.
And no, that ain't due to the fact that it's not on Xbox. I have a PlayStation and I still don't want to play that dog shit.
Okay.
I said what I said.
All right, give me a second, Mike Andy. Give me a second, because I don't know if I'm just gonna drop it in the chat, because if I do drop it in the chat, y'all got to be quick. Don't blame me. Hold on, I'm finna get to Noah first. Let me get to Noah first.
Dope. That is
I'm look at the private chat, Noah, and go ahead and do that now before I drop it in the chat. Because once I drop it in the chat, look, when I drop it in the chat,
copy paste, boom.
When I drop it in the chat,
hey bro, hey, we an Xbox podcast. Why everybody want this code so bad? Hold on now.
Look, we
know Xbox podcast. We are 9.
One thing I can say about Xbox fans, bro, we don't fan, bro. You know what I'm saying? We don't sit here and bash every PlayStation game that drops.
Look, I will say this though. In order to enjoy Xbox, we don't have to bash PlayStation and vice versa. Okay. We're going to try to cover everything here, though we're particularly, we favor Xbox, but we're going to try to cover a little bit of everything so we can kind of get everybody in the community going. I think it's too much divisiveness in the community. Everybody want to, it's enough. It's enough of that in the world with politics, sports, and all that. The whole system built on divisiveness. So it's enough of that, man. Let's get everybody in here. Let's get a conversation. And if PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo dudes want to sling mud in the chat at each other, go ahead. Go ahead. We don't do what you gotta do. Chop it up.
Place to play, bro. Like some people want to play on the Xbox, some people want to play on PC, some people want to play on PlayStation. But when you go out your way to try to discredit every release on the other console, that's a mental illness, bro.
Oh, snap.
What?
Man, it's real, bro. Like, bro, how this game right here, green screen messing up. Hi-Fi Rush had the whole PlayStation community going crazy. They wanted to play this game so bad, and it hurt them. It hurt them so much to say this game was like something I want to play.
Now we was just talking about coming together, and then you just threw the whole PlayStation community under the bus. What are we doing here, Noah?
No.
You just gloated right in their face.
I'm being factual.
You just gloated. You say, man, Daddy, you just did it. Yeah, we gonna cover everything here, but then Daddy,
that's not what I'm doing, bro. That's not what I'm doing. You rarely see You rarely see Xbox guys. It may say they don't like God of War, but they're not just it's a garbage game.
I got you, Mike. Hold on.
You know what I mean? Like you only see that from one community for the most part.
Hey, let me tell you something. Hey, Mike Andy, brother. In the words of Denzel Washington when he played Malcolm X, that brother thirsty. That brother is thirsty.
I ain't get the code post.
It's in a private chat.
On what? On Twitter?
No, StreamYard.
Oh, yeah. Let me get that. Hold on. Hey, matter of fact, while I'm doing this real quick, you see that video I posted in the Twitter DM?
Which one?
I think we need to share that, bro. So you see what I'm talking about.
Okay, hold on.
Let's talk about toxicity. This is toxicity.
Okay, let me do this here. Okay, let me close that out.
Let
me close this out because we want to get the PlayStation. We talked about Wolverine. Now let me bring up.
You gotta give me a minute, but I gotta log into my place. I gotta reset my password. You know, last time I logged into PlayStation, I gotta reset my password. Hold on.
Here we go.
Step out when you say that high five rush, boy.
Yeah, bro.
They lose. They goddamn top, boy.
It's funny. It's funny, but it's sad too.
All right, so here we go. We're gonna bring this up on screen. This is gonna be our next topic. Give me just a sec, Mandy. I got you. When I drop this in the chat, it's gonna be.
I'm redeeming it. It's done.
All right, I just got Dre. So there's you. So there's me. There's you. I just gave Dre. I just hit you in the DM. Mike Andy. I'm finna post this in the chat, brother. All right, I'm finna post this in the chat. You gotta be quick. Let me check. If somebody get and it say it ain't, don't blame me, brother.
Hey, Mike, Mike. So that's the Xbox. He ain't even got a PlayStation account.
You feel me? Don't blame me, brother. I'm finna drop it now in 3, 2. You redeemed it, right, Noah?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. Dre, I sent it to y'all. It's up to y'all to use it and get to it. There you go, Mike. There you go. There you go. Okay. Now we're gonna move on to this PlayStation news because they came out with some incredible numbers. Let's see what we got here. Oh, you got
wait, pause before you jump on that. Just play that video real quick.
Which video?
Real quick for me, bro.
Where is that?
In the DM, Twitter DM.
All right.
Yeah.
Make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure y'all helping out the channel, man. Y'all enjoying the content.
Hey, Mike, you was quick with that, huh?
Yeah, he said I got it. Don't even worry about it.
Hey, so anybody else? I think he got no problem, man. Y'all come support the channel, man. You know what I'm saying? Let me see here. Oh, my brother. Oh yeah, this is
we're expected and up to men all year.
Hold on.
That's what be out the APA.
We interrupt the show.
Uh-oh. Breaking news. Breaking news.
Make sure the audio working on this one, bro.
Yeah, I got you. We're interrupting this show.
Oh, I already know what you're about to. Hey, this was a lot of hurt, y'all.
I want you guys to pay attention to this.
Hold on, we're gonna time step this, bro.
Listen to the voice. Look at their faces. Listen to what they're saying. Now, I don't promote nothing. I don't want to promote like this. But they be trashing the Xbox community. So I'm just gonna let y'all, and then y'all tell me what y'all think. Here we go.
We know the dude bro gamers, and the dude bro gamers want real graphics. You're not gonna go from Forza and then go to this and be like, it's not about the graphics, but then with Forza it was about the graphics.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? You can't you can't be. You can't be.
His face.
PlayStation fans, we can do that shit all day because we will literally play a game like Gran Turismo and turn around and play a game like Ni no Kuni, or something like that. Like I've done that shit before. I have no problem going between realism and fictional. I think this is a very interesting title. I just don't think it's the perfect game for Xbox.
No, again, bro, it's a carbon copy of Sunset Overdrive.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
And I would love to hear anybody and everybody say it's not.
It's
Look at
not.
it right there. Boom. You see when he came up out the fucking elevator?
I know, and saw the skyline.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The skyline.
The weirdest thing though, it does look
Oh,
like
whoa,
this.
whoa, hold on a second. What's going on with that alphabet, that letter C up there in that top right corner?
Oh my god.
Looks like that's a rating for your
Come on,
combat.
G. So now you trying to be like Devil May Cry? Fuck out of here, bro.
The dude that made Devil May Cry made this. He's the director of the game.
When you're not a good developer, you take other people's ideas. So.
He created the idea.
The guy that created the idea.
This is a game more for kids and teenagers, but it's so out of time. You know what I'm saying? Like, this would have been a great game for, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago. It would have been a really good game. But I just don't think these type of games are going to gravitate very well with the Xbox community.
Last of Us
So
came
these
out.
games, I mean, like I said, the art style looks
years
fucking
ago.
beautiful. But
Oh, yeah,
bro,
beautiful.
it's just it's Xbox. It has Xbox stench all over.
Wow, when you
It really does.
art style to Forza, you bugging right now, boy. You know you hurt.
The niggas is not passionate about gaming, bro.
Yeah.
They just want you in their subscription service.
And this shit is definitely going straight to Game Pass, and that's why I think I'm having a hard time understanding the art style. But now I understand when your budget is so fucking low, it kind of makes sense. Oh, you got a cute little black girl. Okay, I'll give her some brownie points for that, and she definitely got a shape. Okay.
That man out here judging.
Oh, you got a team. You got a black dude with glasses. Okay, looking like Mr. T.
Nah, that looks like motherfucking Cole. Not Cole, but Bear.
Oh shit! Oh yeah, look at him. He
look like
big
Bear
ass.
off of motherfucking Final Fantasy.
Yeah, he's a big guy. Okay. Hey, bro, they got something. I just don't know what you want. You know what I'm
He
saying?
don't know what to think, bro. He
Just
don't know
go
what
on
to think.
Game Pass.
Oh, you know he is.
Then how did you? What do you?
Anime all day, you're mad that it's an anime.
Again, like I'm not a business expert, but how do you make this work for you? By keep putting even good looking games like this on Game Pass.
Hello, so you just said it's a good looking game.
This is giving me No More Hero vibes as well.
No More Heroes. Oh, he talking about that look. Art style. Everything else, no. Hey man, this is the type of hate we gotta
You can
deal.
definitely tell there's many creative ideas from other games to make this happen.
I don't think I don't have anything negative to say outside of I don't think this is the right game for that platform.
Anything negative to say when I said it?
Because it ain't gonna do well.
Yeah, we literally just saw
look like Sunset.
a preview of what a game like this does on Xbox,
like
and
15,
it doesn't
20
do
years
really
ago.
well.
But I don't want to get this game.
Isn't it sad that Bethesda had these type of ideas? They waited until Microsoft picked them up to start showing the world.
He's sad. He's sad.
Hurt.
Like they waited so long to show different ideas.
That
Bethesda
hurt.
had been held up with the Fallout and Doom and Elder Scrolls for so long, but when they finally was able to show shit,
Get him to want to bring out the game.
they can't sell it.
He hurt.
You know, this is shit you won't be able to sell.
That shit ain't gonna end well.
This man is
Ain't no way, boy.
he hurt.
Nigga, what? They launching the game tonight, and yes, it will be on Game Pass as well.
Hey, yo, but I'm telling you, bro, this is the sickness, bro. Tell
I
me
got
this ain't
Sunset
another-
Overdrive coming to PlayStation by the end of the year.
Now, so the cocaine's happening. When does that crack come into play for you?
Tell me this ain't a mental illness, bro. Tell me, bro.
Bro, don't nobody do it better than bro. Bro,
Yo, shout out to bro. Shout out to bro, man. Look,
I don't know what was going on, bro. He's looking at the game. He's mesmerized by it.
He likes it.
but he likes it.
And then
But he's mad because it's on Xbox and not his platform of choice. They
bruh,
was literally sitting up there and talking about how pretty much how Xbox don't deserve a game like that because the community won't appreciate it. That's basically what they were saying.
The part that gets me is he's trying to shit on the game because they're taking ideas from other games, which all games do in some form of fashion. But then, not knowing this game is directed by the creator of Resident Evil and Devil May Cry, he made this style of gameplay, but he's copying someone else.
Bro, let me tell
Boy,
you something.
biggest L ever, bro.
Let me tell you something. The face as he's saying this, but as he's looking at the game,
I want to
he
play
couldn't
this.
take his eyes off the game.
Like, damn, I want to play this. It's over.
And then, like, I ain't gonna even bring up what he said about the female and all that stuff. That was just weird. That was just weird. But
look at the pixel shape, like, bro.
yeah, that was just weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said they got one. It's a good one.
They got one now. They got
what?
yeah, like I don't
That's concerning, bro.
that's very good.
Dudes y'all be following, man. These cats y'all be out here rooting for.
Never said that about God of War. When God of War, we just played that. We played it on PlayStation. God of War Ragnarok came out, looked the way it looked. We played it on PlayStation.
The first person to sign that petition.
You don't have to wall yourself off from content just because it's not on your preferred system of choice. Have both systems or all three systems. So no matter what company bring out what, you have access to it. You can still prefer PlayStation or Xbox over those systems. They might become your secondary system of choice. Xbox or PlayStation will be your primary, but you don't exclude yourself from great games.
Yeah.
It's crazy. This is let me get back to the show, man, because we almost 2 hours in. Okay, so I'm gonna close this out. And we're gonna let me see here. I think I want to bring up what's the name. I'm talking about PlayStation.
Nigga, hey, God forbid you miss a parry in this Hi-Fi Rush. Jesus.
Yeah, so who mans is this? I don't know for it. I don't know who mans that is, bro. I'm trying to figure it out, but them be the cats these dudes be following, man, for news.
Okay, so let me do this here. All right, so we're gonna bring this up on screen. We're gonna talk about this, and then we're gonna kind of go into the Microsoft Activision stuff, and then we're gonna close out. I think we had a very balanced show today. Talk about a little bit of everything. Okay, so PlayStation just came out today with their earnings and just look. I know I prefer Xbox and Microsoft, but compared to what Microsoft has shown and what Sony just showed, these numbers just it shows you how massive and dominant Sony is, but that also shows you how even if Microsoft take Call of Duty exclusive, that it wouldn't impact or prevent Sony from existing in the industry. Okay, these numbers right here shows that that even without Call of Duty, Sony can still compete, right? PlayStation fiscal year 22 quarter 3 financial results: 7.1 million PlayStation 5 consoles shipped, 86.5 million total units of software, 20.8 million units of first-party software. That's kind of low. But I need to hear that. Well, I don't know. 62% digital software ratio, 46.4 million PlayStation Plus subscribers, 112 million monthly active users. So how did Microsoft surpass them in monthly active users? Because Microsoft have 120 million right now. And over the last couple of years, they went from 102 million to 120? Well, that's another PlayStation for another. They all want to rain on Sony parade. What y'all think about these numbers? Also,
Great.
shout out to Benji Sales for this information. PlayStation has shipped 32.1 million units lifetime of the PlayStation 5.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It was
Yeah.
like what 20 million before Christmas, wasn't it?
Yeah, they've
So,
been.
Yeah, through a pandemic and through a chip shortage, you able to pull these numbers off. I would, man.
Yeah, so he
didn't have these issues. So
he says some big jumps for PlayStation 5 hardware and first party software compared to last holiday. PlayStation 5 hardware 7.1 million in 2022 versus 3.9 million in 2021. Wow, that's a jump. First party software 20.8 million in 2022 versus 11.3 million in 2021. I don't think that's a big of a jump given all the software that they released from The Last of Us 2, The Last of Us 2 Remake, Horizon Forbidden West, God of War Ragnarok, Spider-Man Remaster, Horizon Forbidden West. I thought you would assume that it would have been more. You would think that it would have been more.
What?
Given
consoles?
Yeah, I'm talking about first party software.
Oh,
So they sold 11.3 million in 2021. First party
also, it was
units.
God of War then, because God of War hit with 11 in it.
Yes, and then in 2022 they 20.8 million. So if God of War sold 11 million, and then I read somewhere that God of War sold 11 million on the PS5 alone, and like 5.4 some million on the PS4. I don't know if that's true.
Dang.
And they worry about Call of Duty.
Victor, yeah, he kind of do. I mean, I do the same. I get information regarding the Microsoft Activision case from other sources and things like that, and kind of consolidate it into one tweet where people don't have to go look for the information themselves. I think that's what Benji Sale does, because I don't think he got access to direct access to what other analyst companies get access to. So he'll pretty much have to wait till they post it and then kind of consolidate the information into one tweet. That way, the people who follow him don't have to go look for it. Similar to what I do with the Activision Microsoft thing merger. I get people in my I posted a tweet like the other day and I said, click the link and woo up the bam, and they pretty much hopped in my comment and saying, I'm not doing all that. I'll just wait till you tweet the information out. They told me that in my comment section. Like, I'm not going to click that link or read all that, none of that. I'll just wait till you put it in the tweet. So so a lot of people don't want to go to forums and websites and this and that and read this or look for the information. They just want one-stop shop to where they can get the highlights and the real important information. They don't want to read long articles or anything like that. They want to read highlights and read the most important information from there and then go on about their day. So what y'all think about these numbers?
Great numbers, if you ask me.
They killing it right now, man.
To the pandemic, and then on top of that, the chip shortage, and you able to end the scammers, the
scammers, and
the scammer situation.
Well, the scammers helping them though. The scammers help them a lot, bro. The scammers. Shout out to the. Well, I don't want to say shout out to the scammers. I don't want to say shout out to the scammers. But if you see some of the pictures on Facebook and on Twitter, people with massive walls of PlayStation 5 selling them. Partly Hey, they got Sony jumping right now, man.
Got them busting. So
They
You
got
know the
them
best
wheels.
thing about this news is though,
I know Sony saying shout out to the scam.
this gonna hold up very well in court. Microsoft.
and that's we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that because I need to bring up that tweet because Frank, who came out recently and made a tweet about he worked with Microsoft Communications team, if I'm not mistaken. He came out recently with a tweet saying he heard Jim Ryan was in Brussels, speaking lies about Microsoft intentions with Call of Duty and parody and things like that. And so he came out again, speaking on the recent numbers and stuff like that. So we'll let me see here. Where can I find that at? But these is great numbers for Sony. I think this should be motivation for Microsoft to get their things together and compete. And I think that's why they want to. I think that's why they want to. That's why they're acquiring Activision. So they can be able to compete on the same level. And we'll see. Let me see what. Where is it?
Yeah, shout out to them in the numbers, man. No hate. Shout out to them.
I think it was he who sent. Did he send me this? Let me see.
Man, this goddamn Wolverine so fire. I ain't even turned it off, boy.
You can play it on PC. You got a PC, right?
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
I got the game on PC. If you want me.
So we'll go from there, and then we're gonna go here. And this is what I want to kind of correlate with the merger, and we're gonna get into that real quick. I'm not gonna sit too long, and I'll just give y'all an update on it, and then go from there. But bam, this was what Frank, and I'm gonna do this here. Currently lead communications from Microsoft, and so he said he quoted Tom Warren, who kind of put out the same numbers as Benji sales with the fact sheet on what Sony's doing in the quarter and stuff like that. He says Sony, the main complainant to the Activision Blizzard deal, announced their financial results. This makes it clear why there needs to be more competition in a market they mainly control.
As he should.
That's fact. That's fact. You got to think, last generation, Sony had 75% of the market, excluding Nintendo. So you exclude Nintendo, and you're just comparing Sony and Microsoft. Sony has 75% of the market.
Yeah, if you take Nintendo, it really makes the argument worse for the FTC, honestly.
Yeah,
pretty much.
I mean,
but they're trying to, and see, I don't know how this is going to look now because the FTC literally tried to create a separate market in terms of the high end market, and tried to seclude that to Sony and Microsoft, to say that the Nintendo Switch doesn't exist in that market because it only sells games to kids.
No, it has not finished the investigation, bro. That's the reason why it's in Sony, in my opinion, Jim Ryan messed up because
Victor, go ahead, my bad. Go ahead.
At this point, this can be still used in court against them. That's the reason why you bringing out the narrative and putting it in social media and having platforms review it, because it does sway the opinion in court when it comes to Sony and their so-called vision on Call of Duty not being on Xbox exclusively. It hurts them.
Okay.
Even though it's good for them number-wise for you guys with y'all console wars, great. But when it comes to this court case, no, it's definitely gonna hurt them.
So Victor says, post up, but this numbers or evidence is coming out after these regulators have finished their investigation. The investigation is not done
at all.
It's not done at all. And right now they're at given the EU just submitted their statements of objections to Microsoft, to let Microsoft say, no, this is what we have issues with. they're now at the negotiating table with Europe, with the European Commission. So no, it's not too late. Microsoft can say, "Hey, look at the numbers they just released.
Mm-hmm.
Look at their dominance in market control compared to ours."
Yep.
The CMA in another week is going to release the final provision to their phase 2. That investigation, I know, because now once they submit that, Microsoft will get a stance on where they at, and then Microsoft could respond to that phase 2 finding. And guess what they can include in their response? These new numbers that Sony just released
Exactly.
to help their argument on why the CMA should approve the deal. So no, it's not too late. It's not too late. Then you still got China, right? You still got China. You still got New Zealand who pushed their back to April. You still got Canada who hasn't said a word. Korea, all these, you still got, it's 17 regulator bodies. It's 17 of them.
That's the problem.
You still got South Africa, you know. Go ahead, my bad.
Yeah, I'm just going to reiterate and add on to what you're saying. Like, that's the reason why, for it being prolonged, that's the reason why it's hurtful to them, because more and more content and
more information come out
used against them. So yeah.
And Julian say, why do you want consolidation? Look, y'all use that term so loosely. You guys need to do y'all research on how big the gaming industry is. And Activision ain't as big as y'all think they are when you compare them to other companies out there.
Mm-hmm.
They're not. And Microsoft acquiring them won't put a dent in the industry, because the industry is so fragmented and dynamic. And the it's a low entry barrier for people to come in and start and build their own games or start their own gaming company.
Yeah.
And the industry is going to continue to be dynamic. It's going to continue to grow. It's not so much about consolidation. It's about one company wants to be able to do everything it does and get away with everything it does and maintain its leads. And the minute somebody impedes on what they're doing over there, they got a problem with it, and now they're going crying to the regulators.
Facts.
And the same thing you're crying to the regulators about, you've been doing for the last 30 years. You came in this industry buying a publisher because of how big Nintendo and Sega was at the time. You spent 45 million on a publisher. You went out and did over 250 some third-party deals with publishers and developers to compete with Nintendo and Sega. You use your money and your power to wall off games from Nintendo and Sega for you to be successful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Microsoft, time exclusives. Yeah.
You've been doing this for years. And your community don't have a problem with it. Y'all celebrate it.
Yep.
Y'all been celebrating Sony walling off games from competitors for years. It's the reason why y'all choose PlayStation.
Final Fantasy.
It's the reason why y'all consider it the greatest console ever.
Metal Gear.
Because their ability to provide content solely for their consumer base. But it's cool when they do it.
It's a problem when we do it.
It's a problem when Microsoft do it. And then I know what y'all gonna say. You're gonna say, well, Phil Spencer said exclusives. It's not. Phil Spencer said he don't like exclusives and this and that. It's not. I forgot what he said. I forgot that comment.
Brand.
Yeah. He may feel that way. He can feel that way. But just because he feel that way, that don't mean he gonna run the business that way.
Absolutely.
Those are two different things. Because you can't run the business how you feel based on how your competitor run theirs.
No,
because your competitor is forcing you to play on their playing field. They're forcing you to have to do the same thing they're doing. Bad exclusive, bad content, and third-party rights, and this and that. Because if you don't, the power of their brand, along with the nostalgia that comes with PlayStation in their first-party studios, you're going to be dead in the dirt.
Facts.
And that's if you look at the 360 era, Microsoft came out before PlayStation, a year ahead. PlayStation still caught up at a higher price.
$600.
And then when Microsoft stopped producing the 360, PlayStation skirted off with the win. And Microsoft realized, look, on their playing field, by the play, we can't beat them. They've been in the game too long. Their brand is too powerful. We have to change the game. We have to change the way we think about this whole thing in terms of competing with them. And what do you get from that? You get Game Pass. This is the way we're going to compete. Since we can't beat you at your own game, then we're going to have to change the way the game is played.
We're going to kick the table over, boy. I got to kick the game over. We're going to start over from scratch. That's a fact.
We're going to have to change the way the game is played. So Phil saying something how he feel about not liking exclusive. Yeah, you can feel that way. But you ain't finna run your business that way. Not the way Sony moving. You feel me? Come on now. Let's have some common sense now, y'all.
Yeah,
let's have some common sense.
They did it first, and that ain't how these businesses ran at this point. It's about who finna change it for the future.
Yeah.
And yeah, we did this at one point in time. Was it right? It's to be determined. At this point, we finna change it. So
we gonna have to.
Yeah, we're gonna have to change it for the future. So
we're gonna have to, because y'all whooping our ass. We're trying to beat y'all at your own game. We couldn't win. Y'all whooped our ass.
Y'all got it.
We recognize that. Y'all got it. Y'all got it. You got it.
Can't do it.
That's basically what feeling is. Look, y'all got it. Look, that battle play shit, they got that.
Y'all got it.
Every time. Every time. They outselling us in third-party games. More people are buying more third-party games on their platform. Y'all got it.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all got it. So we're going to change the way to get. We're going to switch up. Okay. Now Game Pass. What? We can't spend that type of money, or we can't even lose that type of money for that period of time in order for it to be successful on our platform. What? You know, Game Pass got this much a percentage of the subscription market. It'll take us years in order to create a competitor to compete against Game Pass. Yeah. Game Pass threw a wrench in the sink.
Yes, sir.
It threw a wrench in the sink. And it's shaking the industry up. Because whether you know it or not, Sony, that premium thing, it's a 3-tier service, but that's their version their response of to Game Pass for now.
Yep.
That's why they discontinuing the PlayStation collection. Well, I'm gonna continue to get. Let me move on. Let me move on. That's a conversation for another day. But I just want people to be to have some like I just want common sense. Common sense.
Social decorum. Act like
common sense. You know, Microsoft in terms of trying to beat Sony at their own game, they waved the white flag. Let's be honest.
Like you said, let's be honest with each other. We're gonna put this in crayon colors.
And ain't nothing wrong to retreat
on the basketball court with the Hezzy crossover fillet dunk package. Are you gonna continue to try to shoot twos with them, or are you gonna switch it up and try to shoot some threes to win the game? That's what's going on here.
We'll play in the post.
Yeah, absolutely.
Rashado say, based on Sony numbers, is Game Pass working or is the always winning?
I say.
Well, hold on, I gotta answer.
Okay, go ahead.
It's working for Sony, but it's bad for everybody else.
Oh, please break that down, brother. Break down.
It's good for your Harry Potters, your bigger titles, right? But the little guys, they're not gonna sell like that. They're hanging by a thread. Game Pass is like a cushion. It's like a web of protection for the little guys.
Yeah,
they can lose some of that risk. Microsoft takes away some of that risk by putting their games in Game Pass.
Yeah.
Not only that, it brings attention to a lot of the smaller
titles that wouldn't necessarily get the attention, and that's why a lot of indie developers are so successful in Game Pass and on Xbox platform.
Absolutely,
because it gives them the attention that they necessarily wouldn't get, because you know at the end of the day, the gamers gonna choose the next AAA game before I'll buy that indie game later. I'm finna go buy this Harry Potter.
They never get to it. It just,
you know what I'm saying, and sometimes they'll never get to it.
Yeah, look at Forspoken needed a Game Pass or PS Plus.
Yeah, I think Game Pass is working too.
Yeah,
I think Sony, the old way is working to an extent, but you see Sony slowly transitioning themselves into the subscriptions and services. That's the wave. That is the wave. Subscriptions and services. That is the wave. That is the wave. You see that with more people buying their games digital than physical.
Yeah, I was about to say, everybody out here can pretend and act like they balling, but let's be honest, a lot of these cats is balling on a budget. So when it comes to these games, let's come on. 2023 is already starting off crazy.
Look, let me tell you something.
And got to the Maddens, the 2Ks, and the Call of Duties of the world. So paying $70 month to month is insane. Like they did a report, they said, we already done saved almost $7,000 or $700.
Yeah, they said the games that entered Game Pass, all the games that we dropped that dropped in Game Pass has a $7,000 value.
$7,000.
Let me break it down for these. Can I break it down for them, bro?
Break now.
The same people that tell you $70 games is good for the industry are the same people that used to go dumpster, and I used to do it too, dumpster diving in the bargain bins at GameStop, buying games secondhand, and wonder why these developers ran out of money and out of business.
So you keep hearing their excuse, I'm playing this game, but I'm going to get to that game when I get to it, and I only played 2 missions of it, and I jumped on another game. Like, no, you didn't have the money for it. You probably went to the red box and rented it for like 2 days and returned that joker.
No,
at this point,
GameStop almost put a lot of, actually did. It put a lot of developers and studios out of business. They went people playing the games for $20, $10, and the publisher developers ain't see none of that money.
Yeah,
none of that.
No.
You guys were buying second-hand games for $5. Bro, GameStop was selling the same game used pre-owned for $54.99 versus $59.99.
Yeah.
You guys went and bought the second hand. Nobody was worried about
the developers back
supporting
then.
the
Support the developers.
Yeah.
Bought the second hand game for save $5 and put the company out of business. But now today you justify spending $70 to support the dev.
But let me tell you something. People be on G2A and CD keys. Let me tell you something.
Yeah, bro.
Crazy.
People ain't fooling nobody
about the CD keys and
yeah.
These people ain't fooling nobody. They be going over in foreign countries. Let me tell you something. I ain't gonna need to put it out there. But
I heard the conversation. Yeah, I'm snitching, nigga.
Hey, so that we finna get ready and wrap it up. And I just want to give you an update. The Australian Competition and Consumer Commission is engaging with overseas regulators, but timeline remains suspended. So they're more than likely they're probably working with the FTC. They're working with the CMA in the UK. And my guess from basically what I take from this is that they're basically waiting for the outcome to see what the European Commission going to do, to see what the CMA going to do. You already know what we're getting with the FTC right now, but given the fact that the FTC that just lost that a vertical merger with Meta, Facebook. I think the FTC probably be put in a position where they might want to go to the table and start negotiating some remedies with Microsoft, because you lose, or they might not. They might want to lose this case too. So they could use that as to go to, like I said the other day, go to the lawmakers and say, look, you see that? We just lost against Meta. We lost against Microsoft. These companies got too much power. They're doing this. It's not enough policies there for us to control this. We need change from a policy standpoint. So we'll see how that plays out. Another thing is that we finally got an update on the CMA. From the CMA, the UK's Competition and Markets Authority is expected to publish its provisional findings on the ongoing review of the MS-ABK merger in a week's time. A London-based antitrust lawyer advising a third party in the case told Equity Report UK. So that's the provisional finding from the second phase that we've been waiting for a long time, and we got to wait another week before we see it or be able to read it. It could come the maximum amount of pages it could be in. It could be into 400 pages or 200 pages or between 1 to 75 or 100 pages. We don't know, but we got people on standby ready to break this down. In terms of my industry sources, if I hear something between now and then, I'll see if it's something that I can speak on. I will let you all know. All right.
Absolutely.
All right. So we want to thank you all. Thank you all for showing up and showing out. We appreciate y'all. It's been a wonderful. This was a dope show. It was a very balanced, very balanced. We touched a lot of subjects. And so hopefully by what's today? Thursday. Hopefully by Saturday, we get some more information and we get y'all our regular show, which goes on Saturday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time and 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Okay. So 73 people, 73 likes. Let me hit the like button and make it 74. All right. So thank y'all for hitting the like button. Continue to hit the like button. It helps with the algorithm. Like I said, if you haven't subscribed to the show, please subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you can be notified every time that we go live, and you can join the discussion. We don't have to agree with each other, and that's the beautiful thing about it. But the discussion, as long as you partake in the discussion and we can learn from each other and take from each other, that's all it's about over here at State of Gaming, okay? Just partake in the discussion. Come and be a part of the conversation, okay? Our opinions we're going to agree, we're going to disagree. But that's what we're supposed to do. You feel me? So, thank y'all. We finna close out. Y'all have a good one. The other Zink, I'm gonna reach out to you on Twitter. We're gonna have to get you on the show because you be. I don't think you have enough characters in the chat to say what you want to say, and you be in the chat saying, "I don't know. Look, I don't know where you." I know Mr. Zink of the AK8 Microsoft can do no wrong. Mister, that's a lie. That's all I heard in the chat. That's a lie.
Maybe.
That's a lie. Jeff Grubb lie. Hey, old girl talking about that's a lie.
That's a lie. She don't know what she's talking about.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank y'all, man.
She only worked for the company. She don't know nothing.
She don't know nothing at all. All right, man. All right. So we're gonna end off with this, okay? Have a good one. Some positive.
Started from the bottom, on our way to the top. Let them hear what we got. We can make it, we can make it, we can make it. Through all the struggles that we've been through. So now let us show you we made it. We made it, we made it, oh we made it.
I can tell you all about my dog days when I was waking up and Pop sleeping in the hallways. Seemed like my life was just going down the one way. And I ain't got a car, so I guess I use my one day. Despite what haters gon' say you never too old to think someday. And to my people, I know I was the best. To my family, you the best. And to have y'all, I'm truly blessed. Cause you taught me life is just a test. It's either failure or success. I left the streets alone, start rapping, get behind the desk. I'm tired of just seeing my people settling for less, just settling for less.
Look through my eyes, vision is quite vivid. I can see the rap gang looking past the city buildings. Blocks getting upgraded, gotta work to save the children. Asking how you living, K? Nothing like the hood feeling. Surrounded by my loved ones, oh what a great feeling. This year, I'ma make sure moms have a great Christmas. Learn to appreciate life more. With every step the crisis giving, smoke weed to clear my mind. Sometimes just to get lifted. Elevate my mind beyond this time where knowledge is hitting lies in true clothing. Wisdom is far from my struggles make me feel like I'm far from the gates where heaven God. This is my testimony. I ain't got the best of homies.
We started from the bottom, on our way to the top. Let them hear what we got. We can make it, we can make it, we can make it. Through all the struggles that we've been through. So now let us show you we made it. We made it, we made it, oh we made it.
I done been through the ups and downs, seen many come and go. Never saw me coming, some will miss me till they see me go. A lot of things change for me, especially when you seeing dope. A lot of chicks refrain from you, especially if you seeing broke. So let me be your guide and take you on the ride. On the ride, yeah, show you where I'm from. By the end of the night, you'll witness the outcome. See success, then outcome. Homie with the burner that won't be outdone. I'm trying to reach the presence of Martin and Malcolm. Persistence in my hand like I won't be outrun. These haters wanna see me on that stage or that balcony. Feel God and no one else after he.
Look, man, if you going through pressure, it can't get no worse. It can only get better. This is your life. Cause, man, the way I feel with it, your problems gotta deal with it. Your meal ticket, I promise, man, you'll fucking still get it. So, this is your life. Don't struggle, just believe every moment that you breathe. Just achieve. My sisters, my brothers, my kids, and my mothers. To the peoples in the gutters, plus my peoples that be hustling. From my whites and my colors, ain't nobody above another.
No matter what the situation was, we seem to find a way to make a way to make it. Another stop us, babe. We took it all the way to the top, babe. We got in my life, trials and tribulations, and I learned that anything is possible. Anything is possible. Let them hear what we got. We can make it, we can make it, we can make it. Through all the struggles that we've been through. So now let us show you we made it. We made it.